December. There's only about 21 closing bells between now and the end of the year, so I hope you're locked in. We do got the Fed coming up next week. You don't have any real data today, but there is going to be a bunch of conferences, both consumer, I believe it's Morgan Stanley Consumer Conference, and then you're going to be hearing from UBS and AI. So some of the names, a lot of the names that you really know about, we're going to get some action there. Crypto got to chill out after yesterday, but then silver, Bitcoin, rates, the new Fed chair, what it means for policy. These are some of the main factors today, except for your boy Sam Altman kind of freaking out. So we'll see where it all plays, but Chattadonia, it should be a wonderful day. I hope you guys are locked in, and honestly, a day like today, we might get a lot of news movers as, well, again, you got a ton of events. So I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you got the long term and are ready to shop. We got a deposit, so don't forget, we will update it on the post tab when we do make a purchase. But before we get going, before we do anything, before we chase a dollar, we got to pay homage, man, to a very special group of people. December, that has made a sacrifice. We do got the Fed coming up next that most of us never have and ever will. And I'm talking about the veterans of the United States of America. It don't matter if it's a holiday or not, bro. This is something we've done every day for a little bit more than half a decade. And I'm very, very glad that we did. And I'm very glad that I get to share this space with some of you who have served, man. It's always good to be around that vibe and to know that you have people who care the same way. And for real, man, we all like to go make money, do all this, use our freedom, all these things. But without the people who made that sacrifice, even well before some of us have even got here and even serve, man, it's truly a beautiful thing. So thank you, and God bless every single one of you. And I really do hope that you get to take advantage of all this. Please save, please get a long term, stay away from the scoundrels. You have a lot of discipline, you have made a commitment, you already know these things through service, and I hope that you do understand how easy it transfer to what we're doing here. But at the very least, I want to give y'all a big shout out and say thank you, and hopefully inspire everybody else out there who hasn't served to show a little bit of love, baby. And God bless your families as well. They made that sacrifice too. And big shout out to everybody else out there giving back to their local communities. All the doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men, everybody making their communities run, baby. God bless you and thank you. But ladies and gentlemen, please rise up. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Send the Jets! Oh, I don't have the... Where are the Jets? It don't sound the same without the chair. Harder. Oh, I'll get you the sound effect. We'll work on it. We'll work on it, baby. Oh, but it's game time. Merry Christmas. You know that? Merry Christmas. You even got an Uncle Christmas song in like 7 days, bro. Oh, I don't know if they can handle it. I don't think they can handle it. I don't think you're ready for this long term. I don't think you're ready for this. Oh, yes. They're meeting, Witkoff and Jared Kushner are meeting Putin today. So maybe we'll get a peace headline, too. Is that going to be the Christmas thing? Well, we got a minute and a half here. I am going to be watching Okta, CL, Clorox, Nvidia, PM, AMAT, Square, Coca-Cola, ANET, and did I have ANET twice? I have AMAT. And Newell and Datadog. All of these will be showing up at an event today. So even though there's not much news and headlines, if you start to notice a lot of companies kind of going crazy in the morning, it's probably going to be a result of these events. So that's what we're going to be watching out for. There's a couple of other earnings after the bell. I believe Marvel, I think even Palo Alto is that. I think Palo Alto is reporting, and a few others. A lot of cybersecurity. So we'll see where it leads us. Again, watch the staples too, because that's what those conferences are going to be about. And let's have a good day. We're actually up in China gambling numbers. I can't believe that, man. On this second day of stock market Christmas, that gave to me. Choose your frustration, save 10%. And a new long-term pick. No? Okay. Well, either way, AstraZeneca, GSK to join new UK Price Pharma working group. Oh, man. man, Procter Gamble on the low. Are we gonna get a gift? Oh, that would be so nice, you guys. You know that? I feel like I'm gonna get too picky with Procter Gamble, but last time I was picky, or I wasn't picky, they went down like 20-30%. So I don't know. I gotta find the balance. The deposit's still low. At least the rebuild needs to get moving. But Chatadonia, less than 10 seconds. Let's have a good day. Please don't get banned. Follow the rules and make sure you shop for the long term. Even Buffett or Burry's talking value. Round 1. Fight. All right, yeah, watch silver too. Again, silver, Japan, rates, all of that. And the market is kind of reacting to the whole Hassett thing. People have not let that go, and that first reaction says a lot if you really think about it. Boeing's up 6. They were down earlier. They're at one of the conferences. Yeah, Boeing's actually killing it. Holy shit. So, yeah, that might be a good sign. And a long-term stock. Where's Broadcom? I know Oracle's running, and then again, Nvidia, they should be at the event. I don't know if it's going to be something big or televised, but if that does start to go a little crazy, you might get some activity there. But yeah, a couple of other names are starting to run up. It's a good open. I mean, the Russell's leading 0.6, SPY a quarter, NASDAQ 0.4, and Dow by 0.25. So not as bad as what we saw the other day. Not as bad at all. So let's see. Bitcoin. Did UNH go crazy, or is that just the spreads? Yeah, just the spreads. And then again, a lot of biotech stuff. They were a lot smaller, but remember, XBI, long duration, those are all still in play. Datadog's going to be at the event too. ANET, Coca-Cola. Who else was there? There was actually a ton. Oh, Philip Morris. That one, they already gave guidance. So they like reaffirmed their guide today. I don't know if they're going to say anything else at the event, but that could be another one. And then it just ties into the value. You guys brought up Newell the other day. That's one of the food plays, I believe. And then Square, but I don't know if he's going to hit. And then CLX and CL. A lot of you guys have brought that up for a long-term potential. They're going to be at the events too. So I don't know if those are going to get better or worse. Again, Staples kind of ugly right now, man. Oh, we got a gap down on PG, bro. Maybe we did get our gift, dog. Maybe we did get a gift. Boeing options didn't move at all. Give it a little bit. It might, honestly, that might be your opportunity. So as long as Boeing holds up, sometimes it does that. I mean, we are in Chop City, but if it sells off, you'll get clapped. Otherwise, if Boeing holds that and starts to climb throughout the day, those options will be good. The weeklies went up like 700%. Big spread, but no, you got some. I'd say 300% conservatively. You were probably a little too far out of the money. That might be your kicker. So yeah, it wasn't too crazy. Oracle. Let's get the Coca-Cola, Pepsi. Oh, who's the other one? Okta. That's an earnings one. And then Datadog. And then CRDO and MDB. They killed it on earnings. Oh, where's Meta and Amazon? Russian Putin inflation seen around 6 by end of December. Oh, Intel. There was something on Intel in Malaysia last night. It didn't really get too much coverage, but something about an investment there. That was a fat spread. Some of the earnings plays from yesterday, just very, very big spread. Is the event in Phoenix? I have no idea. It's a UBS conference and then a Morgan Stanley one. UBS is for AI, and then Morgan Stanley is going to be for consumer stocks. Whoa, is this about to be a new high on Intel? I don't know if it has it broken 41? Yeah, 42. Never mind. I'm sorry, I just get excited. Dell, they're going up. A lot of the tech is like tech chips. All of them are doing very good. Again, Nvidia is going to show up there too, but it's already kind of front running. Who's the other one? CNC. Show me what your long-term wait. Long-term fast. I'm sorry. Yeah, they're planning a $860 million investment to establish testing operations in Malaysia. Yeah, I think that was it. Shopify too. Again, Black Friday. The Black Friday Monday or Cyber Monday things were crazy. MSTR running. Burry tweet on Tesla. I think he was correcting the record, saying that he didn't short it because everyone said he did, but he was just talking about the valuation. XYL, SQQ, Dell, Oracle. Meta's coming down. Intel, Marvel as well, though. Again, those just have a spread. They are moving. Amazon. All right, we'll wait. Yeah, bro. PG. I'm actually really liking it. And then where's Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola got worked already. So that one's going to be an interesting one. The Boeings are holding up. Damn, there's actually a lot more volume coming in on the Boeings. And then SMCI, Marvel again, chips. Jack those up. Why is it not filling me? We'll go there. Call it a day. They hoeing me, dog. They hoeing me heavy. And a long-term stock. So I'm sniping 2 from the list today. We'll call it a day. And then we'll wait and then see if any of the Nvidia ones. But SPY's going up, man. If we get above the high, if we could get out of Chop City, bro, that's gonna be nice. That will be a lot better rather than the choppiness. And then we'll wait, and then I think I'm front running 2 of them, and then we react if we get any like crazy headline, because that's why I do think today will be a little bit more ripe for a move like that. Well, we'll find out. We will find out. Oh, where's Apple, man? Those are still going up, and now Google's starting to go up. I mean, Apple was at a 52-week high yesterday. Shop is still going up, and then Intel's chilling. Small caps and EW slipping. Yeah, the Dow is actually about to go red. So again, a lot of chips are doing good. Everything Broadcom, Oracle, Asmel, Nvidia, you name it. I mean, even Apple is up there. But yeah, the Dow and those value names. I think Procter & Gamble, that might be bringing things down a little bit. Intel's still going, but yeah, chips are doing really good. Again, WDC, that's moving up, and then like a lot of the memory plays, I think 2 of them will be showing up at the event as well. MDB still going. Again, Apple, Google starting to wake up. Healthcare, I don't think is up. I mean, UNH barely, but yeah, healthcare in general is still struggling. Value's not doing too hot. I mean, the Dow almost went red there, but it's still holding on. And then there's Meta waking up now. So we'll see, but I think all Mag 7 is killing it. And then remember, retail, those are still going up. Nike gave up, but like ONON, So watch for some of those year-to-date laggers or any of the retail stocks that were kind of running. They'll be very interesting. You like PG? Well, be careful. Don't tell me what you buy, but I agree with you. I like the dividend on KMB. I like KMB's discount because, you know, they just acquired Target and that fucking just dropped them the most since the 80s. So, but I just don't like the portfolio the same way. I don't think Kimberly-Clark's bad, though. I really think it could work, man. It could work very good. I'm obsessed with Procter & Gamble. I don't know how to explain it any other way than that. I can't believe it's down 3% right now. Wait, when's their ex-divvy? Is that it? No, remember yesterday they didn't even declare their dividend. Not yet. Nvidia begins UBS conference. So there it is. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to get any headlines from it, but they're already up 2.8 on it. And then watch any of the partners, you know, so they're probably going to announce some random stuff, but just keep in mind the Oracles and everybody else of the world who are more likely to react to any of that stuff. CoreWeave, ARM. Maybe let's hear the Intel. I told you Intel. Come on, yalla, habibi. Spur launches deferred payment letter for Russian importers from India. CLS. Where's Clorox? Broadcom's really running now too. MDB and CRDO, those are the earnings launchers. And then even Palantir's on there. Yeah, Colgate. Oh, there's Colgate moving. I don't know if they're early or later. Yeah, all the value got clapped. That's either going to stay like that or that's going to be your opportunity because, again, they are going to be the ones at the, again, the Morgan Stanley one is like consumer related. I don't know. It feels like besides Shopify, it feels like you're kind of selling the news on all of the Black Friday stuff. PG, bro, 143. That was the 2023 price, man. That's the one I was saying there. I was like, man, anything around 143, that is something I really, really liked. Because now you're pretty much what? You wiped out 3 years. So yeah, you're back to like, you're getting to go back 3 years in time. Oh, hubby, what's the yield on that? It's like a 3%, I believe. 2.9, give or take. PG earnings on January 22nd. The 3-year low is 135. Yeah, 2022. It's at least below 2023, where they started. Damn, 143 was like even their high of 2020. All right, well, SPY's coming back down to VWAP. And a long-term stock. Sonnet. And then ABTC paused. AMD and SMX on the high. Let's see, Apple. I was actually doing great. Microsoft's after the bell with their conference event. So not too bad. Everything's still holding except for the Dow. Dow's about to go negative again, back to the 0.01. It might have even hit negative. Memory, chips, all of them are going crazy. Financials are kind of wobbly. And then if you do get anything healthcare related starting to wake up, like biotechs are starting to move, that could be another opportunity. Broadcom, Nvidia. Again, the Nvidia conference is starting now. Colgate has new hand soap? What? Well, yeah, wait, Colgate Palmolive. Yeah, they make the dishwashing soap. Dell shares hit 2-week high. Up 4. Is that Sweetgreens? No, different SG, huh? Huh? Yeah, a lot of the value, like consumer stocks that did good the last couple days, they're all chilled out. CoreWeave starting to go up here. Buki, BQ. Solventum. They upgraded that, but I don't know how much that matters. Yeah, I mean, PG's a good company. It's a slow mover. That's kind of the good part about it. It does have, like, you know, it's kind of up a lot. I mean, most of my life, Procter & Gamble was at a lower price, but it is generally stable. I think this has been its worst year. How much is it down? It's probably only down like 10% though. Nokia collaborating with TempNet to upgrade digital operations in Gulf. AMD, TD Cohen, Helios could boost AI business. AMD was already getting active. Yeah, they're up 2.5. Again, a lot of these tech or chip plays are up like 2 to 5% already. Let's see. Where's our boy? Oh, I could probably pull it up elsewhere. Airbnb. I'm going through slick charts right now. I want to see where Procter & Gamble is. Yeah, Procter & Gamble down 15% on the year. So they're entering in the 15 to 20 range. They're actually 14.6. So it's crazy. That's even after all year, when you look at that chart, it's just, even after 3% today, they weren't even down that much comparative. Again, a lot of value names are the names that kind of got rotated into today. They're not doing too good. BMNR, one of the crypto plays, Ethzilla, they canceled their sell. The market loved it. Nvidia CFO says most new Nvidia chips are being shipped or adding new data center infrastructure and not replacing installed base. UBS conference. Myrna. I still can't believe that from yesterday. Don't get me started. Oil on the low. Actually, oil's down by 1.7. Jeez. Silver went with it. Gold went with it. And then Bitcoin going up. I don't know. That might be related to gold already started down. It doesn't look like liquidation. But again, anything peace related, we'll see. Putin asked government to propose program for share replacement of state-owned companies. All right, a couple of the tech names are chilling out. I mean, you did just get your first Nvidia comment. And then AMD still holding. And then if Bitcoin, I mean, hey, Bitcoin 4 after yesterday's death blow. APP, that one's, doesn't that thing melt up every day, or am I tripping? Cyber Monday to long-term Tuesday. Oh, you do? You get a lot of deals on the bout, yo. I like it, Habibi. I like it. I can't believe it. Procter Gambling is looking at me, man. Procter. Let's see. Where were they in 2018? Well, they killed it in 2018. MP on the high. Again, Bitcoin's kind of tweaking right now, and Shopify's still going. Only thing bad about Procter has gambling in the name. I know, Habibi. I know. 22 PE. I think that is pretty high for what they do, but then I bought a toothbrush. Do you know how much toothbrush costs? Dog, do you know how much? Dog, do you know they put AI in the toothbrush? Please don't get me started. You guys have no idea. I had no idea. Meta started out red and then it just whoop. Yeah, that had a little bit of green and then I think that might be the only one out of the big tech. Nah, Netflix, they made a cash offer though for your boy WBD. And then Boeing is still going now. So let's go back to some of those. Colby. Where is it? Yeah, the Boeing options held. Again, some of them still haven't reacted at all. Believe it or not. But then now the ones from the morning, they're taking leg number 2. Anything near the money is like 300%. Out of the money just went up like 100, but then they have very, very wide spreads. No other Nvidia. Oh wait, we might be able to hear the Nvidia one. Let me see. Yeah, and then Boeing's with a little bit more time out of the money. They have not moved as much. Those are really far out. But the ones that are there are continuing. AMD partners with Hewlett Packard. Ibit. Eli Lilly going nuts. That's out of any of those. I mean, usually most of the healthcare is down right now. We'll get a checkup here in about 10 minutes. Lumen. Who's the other one? There's our boy. Tap, I still like too. That one came down, so I'm glad. Oh, maybe it goes down more, bro. So then they even have XDivvy coming up, but all of these values got knocked today. I wonder what it is. I don't know if it's the conference or not. And then UNH starting to climb back up here. Let me see if we could get to the event. Sam said code red. U.S. attorney announces settlement with CVS for over dispensing insulin pens. Fed Bowman. Yeah, there's a House committee. They're not going to talk about policy, but I'm sure they'll get a little bit of drama. And then Boeing again. So like I'm saying, and then Intel too. Boeing, anything like out of the money, if it really runs, I mean, those have not moved the same way as the near the money. So like I told you all in the morning, that will be your opportunity if you still think so. Oh, yeah, I think we can listen in, dude. No way. Complete this form to listen to webcast. First name, Donald. Last name, Trumpet. Company, Donald Trumpet Live. Email, I need Blackwell at gmail.com. I didn't know I could listen to it.
Yes, it's very important.
Yeah, this is
Nvidia.
They
think through not just what they need to do to build the model. They have the ability to not only train in terms of the model, but complete a full inferencing, all on the same type of architecture, each part of that being designed to do so. Being able to scale at many different aspects, and scaling up has been extremely important, and NVLink's important to do that, all for the model making.
UMAC, the drone play,
right,
that's up 5.
So once you move,
and then again, UNH kind of woke up here after kind of lagging.
Again,
and
you talk about a full system
LVS
that has been
flushing
engineered for inferencing with all of the different focus in terms of the networking that is going to be necessary to make sure traffic and otherwise is happening quite well. Now, we see that
Nvidia
today,
conference.
And it's not just about day one, but that is about your full time using that from an inferencing.
What happened?
Remember, power efficiency is also extremely, extremely important from the inferencing standpoint. So co-designing everything that we did there, it's very hard to think about a very simple chip, fixed function chip would be able to do that. And that's why many stay on that platform doing both. You have the capabilities to do all those different pieces together.
Let's just talk for a second about CPX. I get a lot of questions on this, and I still think that people don't really get how important CPX is. And this is the first time where you're taking a workload and you're breaking it up. It's not an ASIC per se, but it's an approach. It's an ASIC-like approach to a workload. So can you talk about CPX and whether there are more workloads? You know, how ubiquitous that approach could be.
There is a need for breaking down, whether it be the training or breaking down the inferencing through there. You're going to have many different types of inferencing requests and needs. So CPX takes you to a different stage within the same infrastructure to get that done. The concept that you would have multiple different infrastructures working at the same time to accomplish that. This is everything that you would think about in terms of the world of a mixture of experts. This is the key piece right now that is very important in terms of the model builders that are right now. All of it is based on how did you design your work in terms of with those experts. And that takes some very important amount of compute that is able to complete not only a full model, but each one of the experts. So they're breaking that down, but not necessarily break it down that says you can use a different type of compute to do that. Staying full on that full system is probably the most efficient way to get that done.
Let's talk about software for a moment. There's this argument that some people have that because you can program now in AI, that somehow AI will itself break down your mode in CUDA, that it will allow somebody to build a platform faster that could approximate what CUDA does. How would you respond to that?
CUDA is a very long-standing and important development platform that has been with us for several generations, and we're probably on our 13th version of it. The important part of that is not only CUDA, the development platform, but the consistent libraries for all different types of industries, all different types of workloads. The way you want to think about those libraries and work, you're usually generally providing them at least the first 100 lines of code or help that you can go and do. So starting with that, an important group is going to be the enterprises. It is going to be in terms of those that are building for themselves and have some ability to do that. Not everyone's going to be staffed with software engineers at scale in order to do that software, and it's a very, very important part. For many years, people have talked of, hey, we can do something very similar to CUDA, or we can take the key piece of it to CUDA. It hasn't been very successful because when you think about AI and how fast it's moving, we are keeping updates all the time in terms of new techniques, new things that they are working on, and it just is always going to be behind if anybody really thinks that that's an easy thing to do. These have been designed working with all of our different GPUs, not just one GPU, but all of it is backwards compatible and forwards compatible. It's one of the best features that we have. You buy the compute, and it will probably get stronger, more performant as we continue to improve the software over that period of time. We've done that with Hopper, and you're also starting to see it with Blackwell. That helps that continuation on why
equal weight
they
is
use
down
our compute for a long period of time.
So again, all of these value names you see going, it's
so is there a metric
kind
that
of re-rotating
if you bought A100
and then we're back
you're
up
still
to
using
the
A100 with all the
Friday,
CUDA
but we still
updates,
haven't
how
got
much
out of
have you
this
been able to
range.
improve the performance of A100 with these CUDA updates?
So each one of them has different capabilities in terms of helping them, but each one of whether it be Ampere, whether it be Hopper 100, Hopper 200, and was moved by X factor improvement. Even if you think right now with Blackwell right now, you've got a total increase from the last generation of 10 to 15x. And within that, you probably have a 2x
Treasury
just from the
ETF?
software right
What's
now
your goal?
after we've gone to market with
most
it.
instances, I
it's a
don't
big
think it
increase
fit in the
improvement.
long term. But
Great. Can we
it
talk
all
about
depends
margins?
on your goal, but
You've
then
done
again,
a
if you
great
really
job
want
this year.
bonds,
You committed to being in the
you can just buy a bond.
mid-70s. You made that commitment early this year, and you've reached that. Some people are worried that because of the price of HBM and because of the HBM content and because of the cost escalations and lifting your BOM, that you won't be able to hold those margins. You sound pretty convinced that you can hold mid-70s next year as Rubin ramps. So can you just talk about how you plan for this?
Yeah, always when you complete what you said you're going to do, they're always going to ask in terms of what's next there. So we knew that would be very important to it, but we're very pleased with the work that the teams did in terms of really fine-tuning both our cycle times, our yields, our costs, all of that to move into the mid-70s. We think that's a very great number if you think about what we've accomplished in over a very short period of time. So what is with that is seeing right now that the Blackwell Ultra version was quite seamless, which again allowed us focusing more and more in terms of cycle time and work that we could do to do that. We are aware in terms of supply the prices in terms of supply.
Chips are going up.
Those are very important.
So again, Nvidia's chilling, but everybody else running. I mean, you guys hear this though.
They're
giving out. She's hyping it up. Last headline is talking about Blackwell bookings.
Of efficiency, of cycle time, and our focus in terms of how to use our costs the best way to do that manufacturing. We believe as we move into next year that we'll also stay within about the mid-70s.
Great. One thing that I thought was really notable from this last earnings report was if you take your inventory increase combined with your increase in purchase commitments, it had been going up a couple $2 billion each quarter, and it went up $25 billion this time, a massive increase. So obviously that portends significant revenue growth over the next 2 to 3 to 4 quarters. So can you talk about that? Can you talk about the purchase commitment side of it? Because people look at the inventory and they say, well, the inventory went up so much, that's bad. I don't see why that's bad. That's good if you think you're going to grow so much. And then you take the purchase commitments also, and it went up a lot.
Yeah, so let's focus on inventory and purchase commitments. You're right. Those are good things, but those are growing. That means we do have supply for what we think in terms of the future is of our demand that we have. We have ordered our supply. But let's break that down a little bit. The inventory is a place in terms of where we are building things that will be processed and likely go to market within the current quarter, okay? What you saw probably in the inventory and where we stand now at the beginning of December, probably all of that is moved in terms of has already been shipped to our customers. So the next piece of that, though, is to therefore look in terms of where we stand in terms of purchase commitments. If we have talked about in terms of our growth that we see in that $500 billion by the end of next year, we have to be ordering very, very important amounts of supply. What has changed over time, keep in mind the complexity of our systems and what we have to do to put those
about
together,
to break out too. You're not doing it with the equal weight though. Dow came up a little bit. Boeing is still going above 200 now.
Items are also key that we want to make sure that we are behind. So what's interesting about it is your purchase commitments, your inventory is important, but let's remember, supply and demand and managing that, it's a day-to-day type of things. Things change.
All right, man, you're getting a little, it's good if you could get the value names coming up, but for now you are doing the rotation back to tech, both shitty and high quality.
I wanted to ask about this famous slide that you showed
now too, and Qualcomm, and Intel, and TSM.
And we all see this $500 billion number between calendar 25 and calendar 26, and we all try to back into what that means for calendar 26. But what that also doesn't say is that there are deals you're signing. If you can still do something within lead time, say for this Anthropic partnership, for example, that would sit on top of that number. Is that correct?
That's correct. We talked about that. Probably
TTD, we talked about it yesterday.
Actually
that just
at
falls
our
into the
GTC-DC to discuss in terms of what we saw going into the next year. But it's important to understand the planning that all of these companies
I don't
need
know if
to
you
do
know about them and what they do. I think the question you got to ask is if they'll be here in 10 years.
We felt it was important to understand there's a lot of growth still planned.
Do you have a lot of growth or do you have a lot of value in your portfolio?
The beginning of this next year as well. But you are correct. There is also an opportunity for that to increase more. We talked about in terms of the additional things that we saw in the Middle East in terms of focus, and you may even hear about another one today as well.
What?
Great. I mean, that slide to me suggests you're going to do between $350 and $400 billion next year in revenue. So you're going to generate tons of cash. So the next question is capital allocation, and this is probably the last question we have time for. But how do you think about when you're making these strategic investments and you're allocating all this cash? I know you have to make these purchase commitments, so you have to keep a lot of cash on hand for that. But how do you think about capital management given all of the cash that you're generating?
A really important question, and I want to make sure everybody understands one of our largest focuses, making sure that we have the cash available for our internal needs. And that is a lot in terms of the supply and the capacity that's going to be necessary to build what we're building. Today, as you know, the engineers are off working in terms of Vera Rubin and bringing that into market as soon as possible. But that means we need that capital just to run our business based on just the size of that growth. That's always going to be one, is back into the business in terms of what we need to do. The second piece, also a focus of ours, is focusing in terms of shareholder return, okay? What can we do in terms of stock repurchases and our dividends? Those will always be a part of what we do within there, which then
Dividends
leaves
and
that
stock
last part.
buybacks.
Within our free cash flow, what can we do in terms of strategic investments? Today, our strategic investments are focusing on the ecosystem and expanding that ecosystem. We have long-standing partners that we have been working with for years in terms of that. But the market is growing, and there's opportunities within the ecosystem to assist and invest and learn from their work that they are doing, because it will be an important part for AI going forward. Now, keep in mind, those investments that we invest in them are small. They still, for a lot of their work that they need to purchase the capital and do that, is probably still 90% or more in terms of what they need to do to raise that capital. But our goal is to help understand what's going to be possible in the future with those different types of ecosystem investments that we do.
Yeah, it does seem like you're pivoting a little more toward ecosystem investment versus M&A. Is that fair?
I would say we do both. It's hard to think about very significant, large types of M&A. I wish one would come available, but it's not going to be very easy to do so. So we do focus on M&A. We focus in terms of engineering teams that can be helpful in terms of our platform and work. So from time to time,
NASDAQ's just below 1%.
Perfect. We've run out of time. Thank you, Colette.
Thank you.
There too. Thank you so much.
Actually, let me get you guys a checkup. What the fuck? What happened to the lady? That was an abrupt ending. Am I tripping? Why did it just end, Habibi? Well, I was going to get you guys a checkup. NASDAQ, you have 58 in the green, 43 in the red, so it's like 50-50. Dow, 17 green with PG being the worst, 13 in the green with your boy running it. They ran out of time? That was it? They just ended it? That was 173. Damn. So, yeah, you have more. That's why the equal weight's like that. You are really just getting led up by a lot of the tech and the chip stuff because you have 170 green and then 320 in the red on the SPY. All right. I did no way that just fucking ended like that. Am I tripping? Oh, man. Yeah, a lot of the crypto plays are going up there. I mean, even Hood, brokerages. I don't think we're going to hear any of them at the financials. Hood's killing it. And then minerals and uranium, that started going up there as well. But my goodness, that's it, man. That's it. Yeah, wait. Complete the form. Did they kick me out? The fuck, dude? This presentation is not yet available. I think they did run out of time. Yeah, that's no. I guess it just ended. I thought they kicked me out, but it re-logged me out. There might be more. I don't know. Uber now starting to wake up. Well, yeah, man, there's a lot going on today. You got a couple of opportunities, and then we're going to get more stuff after the bell. But for the most part, like, you guys know the vibe, right? So it's only been about 30 minutes, but this is all tech. Equal weight is lagging. You have 300 names in the red on the SPY. The Dow is weird because you got Bowen running up, and then you have the other stuff getting clapped as well, too. You have Boeing up, Procter & Gamble down. Yeah, what the fuck is Putin saying? Putin says Europeans have detached from talks. Hold on. Yeah, that could be the dollar. Hold on. Putin, Europeans have detached from talks by themselves. Oh, I'm trying to do multiple. I want to see the dollar. Not too crazy yet. European hinders U.S. admin and Trump to reach peace through talks. Europeans do not have peaceful agenda. They are on the side of war. Europeans seek demands are not acceptable to Russia. If Europe wants to fight war, we are ready now. That's what Putin says. Small caps aren't doing too bad. That's actually number 2 right next to the Dow. It's a really outsized moves. That's what you got to understand here, because it's not this just isn't everything. It's certain little pockets that are coming to life doing good. Yeah, dollar did rocket up there. It lagged a little. Oh, I find it is too long term. Putin will take actions on tankers who help Ukraine. Yeah, Putin's talking mad shit. Look at oil now. And then Tesla rocketing, ironically enough. But look, oil, you guys. So something happened there. Yeah, Tesla's going straight up. I don't know if Tesla was at the event, but Tesla's going up while oil is getting clapped. So keep eyes out for that. Actually, ooh, it's tough. And then Intel and Tech is still going up. Yeah, well, dude, oil just flipped big. They were already down 1.7. I hope Ukraine leaders will think whether such practice is worthwhile. We will increase strikes on facilities and Ukrainian vessels. We'll take measures against tankers. Again, they're saying that. So look at it. You got oil and Tesla, and then meanwhile, the SPY's moving around. A couple of tech names are holding, but yeah, you're getting a little bit of a dance. Stocks, long-term stocks, long-term all the way. On Semi and InnoScience announced plans for collaboration. Bitcoin going up too. I don't know what the hell happened to Tesla. That's doing good. And then oil's still up. SPY's not really getting affected by it too much though. So again, you are getting these comments from Putin, but it does seem more just affecting oil and a little bit of the dollar for now, unless he says something absolutely insane. But it is odd. I mean, you are flying to do the peace deal right now. You had just had the Witkoff meeting, or that's what's getting set up. So it's kind of interesting that they're doing it like that. I hope Ukraine, yeah, he's saying it again. Same one. Oh, Wayfair on the low. That has to be from the meeting because they were doing it early. And then Circle, more crypto related. Even Ethereum's on the high. The bonds are showing war fears. I strongly disagree with that. The bonds right now are more concerned with inflation, the Fed chair in Japan, I would say. But the dollar and oil, that's the thing that reacted almost instantly to that. Oil is what you're looking at if you want your war fear, but I wouldn't bring the bonds into this. Yeah, remember, crypto had its worst day since March yesterday. That was the crazy part. Everybody in the GLD. BMNR or anything crypto related is going up. All right, I think you're gonna freak out a little bit from the war stuff, or you already got it. But like I said, today was all tech, anyways. Anything that react to it is gonna kind of do its thing. Yeah, dude, Intel's going up. AMD, Nvidia still hasn't gone too crazy. A couple of the other auxiliaries are going up. The Core Weaves, the iBits, and then all I see is crypto on the high right now, to be honest. You got CRM waking up now too. That's earnings, and then Marvel's after the bell today. Oracle chill, but still holding the gain from the morning. Yeah, Procter Gamble, that one already recovered, what, 1.5% from the bottom? BW on the low? What's this? Babcock. Oh, I don't know if they were at an event. But yeah, that just took a stick. It's kind of small. CNC waking up. So again, we saw UNH kind of do the same, but that's starting to go. And now CoreWeave, like I'm saying, those auxiliaries, you're up by what? Just under 1% on the NASI. And then the Microsoft, a lot of crypto. A lot of crypto, and then minerals and uranium. That's the other part. Biogen, I think they're at an event, but it's not one of the main ones today. I don't know if they're gonna do that. I don't know if the damn Nvidia thing's gonna happen. Entry to presentation. I think they might have kicked me out, bro. They might have not liked Donald Trump it. So that just ended abruptly, but I don't know if it's still going on or not. Rocket Lab, Citi now, and Wells Fargo. They were lagging a little bit. Yeah, look at Wells Fargo and Citi. Banks are starting to wake up a little differently. XYZ, they got their event. They're just chilling on there. I think PayPal too went green. Yeah, PayPal went red too. A lot of red to greens today. And then again, crypto is leading the way. They felt Trumpet is too inflationary. I mean, that's the bonds. So we talked about this last night. Bobo on the high. But yeah, you guys got to understand this, because yesterday, and now healthcare too, Oscar's going up. Oscar's actually really going. So now you had CNC wake up, Oscar, UNH led the way. Oscar, that's 2.5 right now. That might be a trigger. Long term all the way. Oh, what fun, the long-term trade in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey. So yeah, watch. If CNC and Oscar wake up, you might get something in medical. SPY's trying to break out of this high here, but it's actually just holding. House GOP to offer short extension of ACA subsidies. So yeah, that's coming out now. You're getting a headline. That's why CNC and Oscar are moving. Yeah, you watch Oscar, Humana, even CNC. know there's only 20 closing bells? Money market assets surpass $8 trillion for the first time. You got $8 trillion in cash, dog. You know that? All boomers. Some of y'all who aren't boomers are holding it too. You know, you got to think about it. All the cash, if you have more than 20% cash, you're part of that boomer. But yeah, which is odd because remember, you're in a rate cutting cycle. They cut rates a month ago, 2 months ago, but usually that's what gets it going down. You know, when they cut rates, that's usually what triggers it. Ain't that something? Well. Show me what you walk away. W still going down. Zeta and phase. Now bonds are reacting a little bit. Booking Intel again, and booking. There is the eat, travel, play thing too. I know, man. Shout out the long term Intel. It's good. Again, wasn't this the price though? What's the 52-week high? It should be breaking out, you know, any second now. Yeah, I think no, we are right. 42.36. This should be a 52-week high on Intel. Where is it, Habibi? Yalla, make it the flash, make it the, you know. Did you see a 52-week high? Yeah, Boeing's insane too. Bitcoin pump. You didn't miss much. Just the move of the recovery. Again, yesterday was the worst day on Bitcoin since what's it called? Since March, which is Liberation Day. Kind of crazy to think about. Apple's going up there too. Why is it no 52-week? I swear this is a 52-week high. Am I tripping? Yeah, Intel's starting to go though, but I so thought this was a 52-week high already. Because even this morning I was getting excited, but yeah, otherwise, all these events, the first bid day, and then now even your boy, Nvidia, there it is, 42.50. Again, I mean, we did talk about it yesterday morning. I said we should be on Catalyst watch, so I didn't think it'd go 6% the next day, but hey, we got still a lot in the money. That was an awesome one. Long term all the way. All right, so I don't know if you guys want me to tell you. I don't know. I don't know if you guys want me to tell you. I think I'm going to do it differently. I might do it differently. Would you guys get mad? Like, if I bought for the long term and then I told you later, would you get mad? So, like, if I did it how everybody on Wall Street did and I told you at the end of the quarter, would you get mad? Well, I've been trying to train you guys, right? So here's the deal. Are you ready? I did buy for the long term. I'm not going to tell you yet, though. So I did make a purchase. I actually made multiple. But you got to figure it out. So, I haven't posted a video on the trading fraternity since my last purchase. So, we'll go over it. But yeah, you're going to have to wait. But I did buy something for the long term today. I bought, like I said, I bought multiple actually. So I bought more than one. I figured it out. We'll find out. We'll find out, my friends. I have no hints to give. All I have to say is go to the year-to-date laggers and study up on that list. And we got the peach! Oh, he gives me the peach. Right as he announced the long term. Hold on. Oh, my goodness. That's amazing. That's amazing. Are you serious? Oh, let's go, baby. Oh, let's go. God bless you. God bless America. Bradley Frizzle. Oil's on the high. Dude, did you see Boeing today, Bradley Frizzle? How do you feel? He ain't even a Boeing representative. How do you feel, brother? How do you feel? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. You think the hint is I bought more than one? Maybe that'll be that's the best one. Like low key. So I did buy more than one stock. I think that's the best way to explain it. But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you guys eventually. I'll make a video and now you have to watch the video and then I'll post it. And then, because you guys know this is what people on Wall Street do, right? Did you guys know that? You know, they'll buy and then they wait for 3 months before they tell you. So I do want you guys trained because now too, a lot of you are revealing your bias as well. So I think it's gonna be interesting. I think some of you, it's gonna be very interesting. No, I'll put out a long-term alert, but I mean, if it's real time, I'm using this as because I think I'm gonna have I might give myself a bonus. I might want to buy a little bit more, but I do want you guys to think a little bit. So I did act today. You get what I'm saying? I did make a move. I'm encouraging you to make a move. This whole year, I've been trying you guys not to wait. Because even then, when I went all in front of everybody on Intel, how many people still waited, right? I'm trying to train y'all, baby. All right, hold on. Give me a sec. Yeah. My girl just came here. She had to drop off the dog. I said, what? Long-term stocks, long-term stocks, long-term all the way. Shots fired at Peru candidate Belande's car? Oh, shit. We're gonna get another fucking political assassination? That's crazy. Yeah, SPY's kind of knifing a little bit while oil is still climbing. Hold on here. Hot dog. I honestly think if it's anything, it might be your boy, what's it called? The Russia shit. Feels like the Boeing moves. Yeah, so VIX is on the high right now. Something kind of snapped. I don't think it's too serious yet because you only gave up a third. Value names are kind of reacting accordingly, but Oklo Forbes when does Forbes, wait, like Forbes the magazine? That makes no sense. CPC plans on mooning of next 7 days. I don't know what that is. Yeah, keep an eye on oil and the dollar. Yeah, equal wage is dumping as well too. Oklo. All right, well that has to, unless it's Nvidia though. That could be Nvidia or one of these events, but certain names are holding up, the rest are kind of giving back. It's all tech though, man. Unfortunately. So it's tech's not as much as equal weight, but they're both going down. And then yeah, SPY now into the low. You're right below the open. Still green on every index. Dow is also giving it up. Russell gave up a lot more on that. Tesla going break even. NXPI was tweaking out too. I don't know if they're at an event. Yeah, Meta didn't. Meta's just kind of already weak. Amazon went down. SanDisk dropping now. So yeah, memory's down 5, which is weird because WDC is going to be at one of those events. They were doing very good to start. Well, yeah, dude, I love Intel. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of glad I didn't become the CEO, but the vision was there, man. The vision was there. But then that's too, though. So, like, I did make a long-term purchase. I will tell you guys over the weekend when I make a video. Maybe I'll do the video tonight if I have time, and so you guys don't have to wait too long. But I want you to think. I want you to think of what we've gone over. I want you to go through, and I want you to make a decision on your own. That is what I have been really trying to focus on. And like I just said there with Intel, unfortunately, you know, that was one where we saved 4 or 5 deposits. It was a very good return, but also too, some people hesitated. And I'm not trying to have you react just because we're doing good. I don't want you to buy something without thinking. I want you to think about it. I want you to let your portfolio speak to you. So I have a goal on all these accounts. I added to all of them, but they all kind of communicate something. So that's what I'm looking to do, and I want you to use this opportunity. You don't have to either. You could also wait as well. That's up to you. But you need the best decision is going to be based off what you already have. And then you know exactly where I'm shopping from. I did go off of that list. So, yeah. I'm not going to give you any hints. I bought more than one stock. That's as far as I could go today. So, other than that, God bless America and good luck. Let's get it. Maybe the news. I don't know. You'll watch essentially now the bonds that maybe they're showing it a little bit, but that's still it's literally hung over from the Hassett shit. But yeah, I do think if oil or dollar takes another leg, that'll give you an answer. But I do think it is the Russia shit. It just shouldn't be that important. Like oil 2% flip is kind of big, but yeah, it's not. I think the bad part is that you literally just they're flying to Russia right now for a peace deal, and then it seems like your boy Putin just went off. Kind of I mean, they always do this though. That's why he said he didn't, you know, Trump was talking about not inviting them or not inviting Zelensky or doing anything until the deal is like really close to being done. But very, very, I don't know this. Wait a minute. That might be it. That might piss off Donald Trump. Now that I think about it, nah, that's a really bad move by your boy Putin. I think because think about it. I think Trump is going to get pissed. They should turn the plane around now. I'll turn this car around right now. I'll pull over. Putin, Vladimir, all the Vlad, sit down. You too, Robin Hood, you too. All the Vlad, I'll park. I'll pull over right now. You think I'm playing? You think I'll tell Hegseth you got drugs. I'll tell him. I'm not. Yeah, that's bullshit. Because that's going to be not a good sign. Well, unfortunately, gold was already down. So gold isn't giving you the same, it's not giving you the same signal. Like if Bitcoin fucking flushes 4%, then something's happening. But yeah, gold was already down. Gold doesn't really make sense with the war stuff. All it is oil. Oil, a little dollar move. But then again, you got a lot of moving pieces today. And look, dollar already came back down. So I would say it's going to be a little bump for now. I think downside will be if this pisses off Trump and then you get more of that stuff. But yeah, you'll see. Well, yeah, I mean, again, I told you guys, Intel, you should have expected something between now and the end of the year. You got the catalyst watch, but now it's just going fucking insane. So again, that was for all of you too, though. You should have all got that yesterday morning. Whether you were locked in or not, I did disclose it. I think I was the only one who put it on Catalyst Watch. That didn't come from an analyst. That came from Josh Alice's. Yeah, all the minerals, materials. Maybe we could look at like NTR and shit like that. SMX, what's this? SMX, SEC matters. I don't know what this is. Up 29%. All right, well, bonds still up. SPY kind of chilling. A lot of the tech, though, still holding on. Some moved more than others. I mean, Nvidia's still up, too. Actually, how did RT? LMT was up today. That held, but those are chilling. Why OpenAI is in code red since Gemini, ChatGPT, unique daily active users, 7-day average is down 6%. I thought it'd be like 30, dude. I tell you, who would even use it, you know? Now you have the Gemini. The Gemini. Well, Apple's still up too. Again, some stocks didn't get affected at all. I think the oil move on those Putin comments, it moved oil. Oil was down 2%, and then it flipped. And then the dollar went up. So now you got the bonds moving, but that's still, again, they're still red on the day. And then gold is down. Oh, yeah, we do have Trump said he has an announcement at 2 p.m. Global Foundry, is that GFS? Oh, I thought I said $3. Yeah, Global Foundry's moving up too. So again, Intel's hitting a 52-week high, GFS is moving, and then GFS is going to be at one of those events. Oh, what fun it is to trade in a long-term open stocks. More than half of the 1.6% GDP growth in the 6 months came from AI. I think even, I mean, if you go the whole 12 months, that's what I was telling you guys not too long ago, that it's just like, remember, we called it the big, beautiful bet. Not only the bill, but I remember I had a talk with you guys. I was like, y'all really believe in AI, right? Because, dude, without this AI spending, the economy was kind of terrible. Not terrible in the sense of like a full-blown recession, but most of the economic activity, I mean, a big majority came from AI spend, build out, all of it. And I don't know, did you guys hear? Do you guys want to know the next big business? You guys want to get into AI? I could give you guys a company. So I'll tell you the long term once I make the video. But are you guys ready for this? I don't know if are you ready for the next big business? You could get into AI, and if you do this, you could make more money doing this than many AI startups. Oh, I don't know if y'all ready for this one. The business, my friends, is cleaning data centers. No joke. It's a multi-million-dollar business already. There is low competition, but data centers need cleaning. And there is several companies that are making more money cleaning the data center than the actual companies that are paying the data centers. No, seriously, this isn't a joke. This is dead ass serious. It's funny, but it's true. So yes, cleaning them, like a corporate cleaning, like going in and mopping the floors and making sure it's in tip-top cleanliness. That right there is it's killing it. It's actually crazy. I think the total need is a couple $100 million a year. It's close to $1 billion, I believe, of how much cleaning services they will need. And then there's the cooling and then the HVAC and all that. But yeah, just even the cleaning. The cleaning alone is a booming business. So for those of you with cleaning companies, I would look into data center contracts or start you can make one. Maybe you could get someone to give you a contract and then you go buy the cleaning stuff. You work in data centers, he has a big point. Multi-$100,000 contracts to have 10 people walk around with rags and brooms. Some are like, they use like high power cleaners. All right, Spy's coming up. I think you're shaking off the, what's it called? The little war stuff from earlier. Apple's hitting a 52-week high. So low ticker or high ticker's even getting some. Boeing is still going. So yeah, if you don't want to get into the coding, you don't want to vibe code, you don't want to make a model, you don't want to come up with an idea, then the cleaning, cooling, and then there's one more part that a lot of people are overlooking. But like that's the reality. I mean, think about the bond situation we've talked about and like the corporate bonds. Like in the next coming years, there's going to be people who raise the money for AI. They will not be able to pay it back. Most will, the ones that are doing really good, but you know, theoretically a cleaning company will be making more off of AI than some of these AI startups, which is wild to think about. Yeah, man. All right, I don't know, watch Global Foundries. They die once the momentum stops, but that's going to tie into Intel. Intel keeps it going, yeah, Chad. Yeah, Chad, your long-term Intel. Wow. That was a good one, Habibi. You know, that was a good one. Intel grow, very nice, Habibi. Very, very nice. Long term all the way. There's a lot of dust, dude. It really is. All right, man. U.S. plans to tap unused diesel generators for more power, says Wright. I see that. Secretary Wright, it's coming across now. So again, watch more energy. You just shook off the little Putin dip. Again, it didn't affect Intel and a couple of others. You even saw like Meta hold up. But yeah, you're after that. Estee Lauder, they're at an event too. So not bad, chatted down here. Not bad. Yeah, Procter & Gamble. That was, again, this is part of the value that's sold off today. It's very fascinating. Uber's waking up too. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity. Real Cult News on Twitter. Maybe follow the Trading Fraternity. We added to the long term today, but I haven't told you all yet because I want you to think. I want you to use your brain. That's Chad. The brain is powerful. Oh, and do I sound different today? I didn't tell everybody. I'm sitting on a medicine ball, so I don't know if you could hear me like bouncing up and down today. But it's very fun, very fun. Good for the back, good for the core. It's been a good time, bro. It's been a good time. But yeah, I'm gonna go pee, and then I will be right back. Shout out the long term. Shout out Intel. That was a fun one. That's been a good one all year. Where is my propaganda?
Disney. So again, huge things at stake here for all of these three bidders.
No, I'll give you some Jesus socks. Jesus. Praise God. Amen, amen. It's a cult, baby. Ay. Yeah. If we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there. I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you been scared. Big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear. No fear. Oh dear, who you trying to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Nah. It's done. Daddy said it's finished. Made me in his image, but that always made me timid. Wonder why we different, don't you ever get it twisted. It's the only way we get it, set apart from the start. And the heart isn't ours. It's a hippie with the love, but it's David with the sword. I want peace, so that means you gon' kill me if it's war. Nietzsche, Trotsky, can't beach on the ark. Want it easy or hard, want a genie or a god. Then believe me, lil' bro, you a child, you a son of the highest in the bud. Don't deny it, we don't like it when they tell us who we are. I can tell you who I was, I can tell you who he is. I can make another song that's telling y'all about the crib. But for a second, keep it real, it's not the reason they will kill. It's the freedom in believing, they want that to bring the will. But I'd rather have it now, and I ain't never backing down. Lion gonna eat me or turn his ass around. Either way, I will remain up in his name and say it proud. Here, let's say it now, Jesus. I put Jesus on the beat so I can listen to it. I got reason to believe that we living in it. You could say it's one hell of a decision in it. Ay, if we talking plays, yeah, I'm in there like swimwear. I've been there, I've done this shit for 10 years. You could have it all, but you been scared, big scare. Funny part, there wasn't even risk there. My thoughts been my own, yeah, I've been clear. No fear, oh dear, who you try to control here? My God is the weapon, I ain't boasting. Amen. Qualcomm. Yep. Everything's waking up. You brushed off the war shit. UK to delay London-China embassy approval to January. US vaccine advisors to review whether shots cause allergies. Or? Alrighty. Well, Chad. And then, dude, Intel. 8% is insane. So, fuck. I told you I only had the in the money still. I didn't add to them, but I probably should have. That would have been nice. Well. Square as well. So again, the Zoom, that's at the event as well. All of these, I mean, think about it. On some of these days where it's all tech, it is on these event days. So today there's 2 conferences. Tomorrow there's another. And then I think even the day after that. But, you know, I told all of you guys in the morning here, so I hope you were prepared. Clorox as well. Some of those values are coming back. Colgate down, Clorox up. Now Meta and then CRM. Let's see, Square. All right, Shopify. Can we get out of this zone or not, Chattadoni? Are we going to hit a new high or what? That is the question. So yeah, you got to get above 68.50, and then it's like what, 68.71, and then that leads us back to the 6900s. Yeah, 68.75 pretty much, and then you'll get a little bit more resistance at 68.88, and then we go to the 69s. And if we get over there, if we could do this before Powell, it'll be so much easier. You guys know that if we could hit a new high before Powell, then you're out of Chop City. But if we don't, then you're going to still have to wait a decent amount of time, and then it'll kind of be a lot more choppier. Banks are going up now, but Qs are going. Amazon, Meta, again, a lot of the mid-tier techs as well are starting to run. And now a couple of the value names are picking up. Look at the Dow. The Dow's about to catch up to the SPY. Sadly, though, I think that's Boeing fucking with it a little bit more. And then Procter's not down as much. Again, you have the weird mix of Procter Gamble, Boeing today on the Dow. So not bad. It's Microsoft, and then Apple's been leading the way as well too. Oh yeah, Bitcoin, I forgot. Yeah, Bitcoin's at the high. Dollar chilled out. Again, the only thing that moved off of that and stayed was oil. It brought down stocks for a little bit, but then stocks came right back up. Airlines are coming up. We're like 80 points from all-time highs. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that happen in a day, but you know, it's been very choppy. I still think these next 20 points, 30 points will be a little bit more difficult. But then if we could really start to move from there, it'll be a better sign than not. Or all it takes is Nvidia going back up to like 200. But, you know, it could happen with 5 names. So we'll see. Do you hear that? That's the medicine ball. I can't believe it. I've been sitting on this medicine ball for what? 2 hours now? This shit's interesting, bro. No back support, but like my back feels better. And then it's fun to bounce. PM on the low. Again, PM and MO. PM's at the conference. Oh, no value. Yeah, again, not all the value is doing too hot. I want to say it's there. Am I in the camp of the 8,000 S&P? I personally don't really care. I don't know if you guys have noticed. I'll give you guys the levels, but I don't really care where the S&P ends up. I'm not really about that life. I'm more so the individual names, and like, you know, we bought our tech. We like our companies, but yeah, I'm not too like, I just want to outperform at least, or track it if we're getting good dividends and other stuff. But yeah, I'm not really, it could go wherever it wants, but you know, think about it. We're shopping in the bargain bin, dog. That's Habibi, I shop at Dollar General's S&P. You know, the S&P 500 name. I care about maybe like 50. You know, I shop at the dollar bin. You know, it's very, very good. But in general, though, I like the economy. You know, I like to pay attention to the macro, and that's why, you know, like I'm telling you, like the GDP and some of the stuff we got going on, that's where the opportunity is right now, because it's all AI, and it's really distorted, bifurcated is what they say, but it's just like you have very big portions of the market that they're trading worse than ever, and then, you know, the SPY's still ripping, but it is only those couple of names. And then you look at the economy, I mean, half of the spending, it has been AI. I think next year it's going to be the same, but then next year you're going to get the tax stuff. And then you're going to get a lot of the other spending that's going to show up in other places. Yeah, the medicine ball is great. It does activate the core, but then it's like you have to put your legs in front of you. If you think about it, you can't be like sitting there. It's impossible to sit like, you could kind of sit like a dolphin on it if you like tuck your legs in, but you can't like tuck your knee in and kick your balls, if that makes any sense. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, man, I would, you know, look at your long term and make sure you shop. But again, if you have a lot of cash, you should easily be buying something, especially with some of the opportunity. And then think about it. There is going to be another rate cut, and then we'll get the plan. But they were just talking about $8 trillion in money market. The crazy part, though, is that every time the money, let me see if I could pull it up. Anytime the rates get cut, they usually cut the money market starts to drop at the beginning of a rate cutting cycle. But this time around, even when we look at the bonds, they're reacting to a Trump pick, Hassett, more rate cuts, all of that. But it's like this time, the money market's not going down. Maybe there's just too much money out there or not. Boeing CFO expects free cash flow growth in the low single digits next year. Damn, Boeing is still talking? Hold on. Let's see. I thought Boeing was done already with this. No, that's already old. Where is that coming from? He's probably talking somewhere else. Conference is over. Carvana, Dash, again, Zoom. That's at the conference too. Global Found, that one went another fucking 1.5% since I told you that one here. Or the secondary with Intel. Could be outside money, but it's still like even think Japan though. Like even if the rates go down, it should trigger something. GPN's going up there. Global Payments, I think they're at 1 too. Airbnb now and Meta again. And then SPY starting to work its way up. We're at 0.5, NASDAQ over 1. The Dow got to catch up. Oracle dumping. That's a weird one because they held up. They were up like 4 or 5% at one point. So that one flipped. I think Broadcom was a little weaker. Yeah, Broadcom's going down. TSM's still holding. Maybe all the money's going to Intel. No? Okay, I'm sorry. I know. Intel, I know. I'm sorry. Okay. Wiki. Intel. Hi, my name is... Meta finally in Burlington Coat Factory. Alright. You say thanks on stock options to watch and listen? Well, make sure you get a long-term first, because I'm telling you, you could ask any of the guys on the Locked In. When you solidify your long-term, if you really use, for years, I've talked about balance and budget control. And if you could really lock down your budget and make sure you're trading with the right amount of money, and you'll learn through the long term, bro. It's actually insane how much you'll learn through the long term. It's going to really open up those trading opportunities. But if you are misprioritizing, whatever progress you have now will be short-lived. Okay, and I'm not saying that to curse you. I'm not saying it out of negativity. I'm saying it out of reality. So that's just, there's a lot to learn, and there's some cool things, and there's a lot of good opportunities. But just remember, like right now, everything dude, I've been telling you guys even before they started rotating. You guys don't remember a month ago, a month and a half? I start telling you about the long term. Even go look at Michael Burry's damn post, and he's posting the stuff from 08, 09 when he was banging the table. But I hope y'all heard me, man, because I was telling y'all, bro, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. The last time I wasn't even really like fucking cognizant, if you think about it. So I'm still, man, I don't know. I feel old and young at the same time. I'm bouncing on a bouncy ball right now, so I don't even know. But like, dog, for real, just you're not gonna have these opportunities too often, especially as we are on the precipice of a gigantic change in the fucking world and how manufacturing and other things are going to take place. It'll be tech first, but yeah, it's already been 3 years of this AI stuff, and we're heading towards a lot of different things. But like we were just talking about, man, like screw the S&P 500. I don't care what the average is at. Just if you go and look at that thing piece by piece, you are going to realize how big of an opportunity it is. And so that's what I'm saying. The options have a time frame on it. Like I got a bunch of good Intel options, but I'm even more happier about the Intel shares that I have, because that's forever. And that's the crazy part. And you'll notice sometimes like these moments where things will like, Intel was just ripping and then it died for 2 weeks. That washed a lot of the options and then it comes back up. But like your long term that's giving you the outperformance even better than before. So just make sure you guys take advantage of it. Because like I said, about 2 months ago, some of those opportunities have already changed. But you're going to look back a couple years from now, and you're going to look back and ask yourself about some of these names that were trading at very low prices. You will ask yourself why you did not do that. But then I'm telling you now, you got to choose your frustration. And if you're just a little aware of it now, you let your portfolio speak to you. If you have a lot of cash, there's no reason not to pick up a high quality name that you're going to own for 10 years and will be around for 10 years. It's just so beneficial right now. And yeah, we don't really get these opportunities that often. I mean, that's just the reality. Most of the time the S&P is up like this, it's everything is up. There's a substantial premium. I never thought we would be at such an all-time high with so many names that are just down on the year. I'm telling you, you just don't witness this. All right, SPY, another little fucking red. You could go to Slick Charts. I think I have the link somewhere. Oracle's flushing. That was the kind of started there. It's either watch for any of the war shit or if that other stuff happens. But yeah, you could go anywhere for that list. I'll find it for you and post it. But yeah, anywhere. Just go look at what's down. Amazon's ripping too now. Hold on. Yeah, Amazon woke up. There was one more that was on the list that started going. But yeah, they're starting to go up. That little candle's small. I think any of these are going to be freakouts. Wait till there's like a real one. Amazon announces updates to AI models, says new chips are more cost effective than Nvidia's. What? Yo, Amazon's releasing a chip? Uh-oh, you got another one now. Yo, Amazon's coming out with a fucking chip. Yeah, dog. Amazon's announcing their own little TPU thing. Uh-oh, hot dog. Yep, Amazon, dude, Amazon's coming out with a chip. I think this is confirmed. Yeah, it's going there. That's fucking crazy. So it's gonna make Nvidia and Google dance around, but they don't have anything though. Google was like, people reacted to Google right away. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, oh, wait a minute. I wonder who's manufacturing it. Oh! Let's go, baby. I hope. I don't know, though. I don't know. Maybe that was our catalyst watch. But yeah, I would play, you could either play that short term or that might be an end of the year play. You could play that into the end of the year. But that's crazy. That's coming out now. I can't believe it. But the difference is that, like, Google, you got to fucking taste the chip. That's funny. But, like, think about it. When Google came out, you got to try Gemini. So, Google came out, and then a couple days later, everybody reacted. But that's because they got to use Gemini. They got to use Nana Banana, all of those other ones. Speaker Johnson, they're talking ACA stuff, too. So, like, Oscar and the other one. Oscar, CNC, and Humana. Yeah, they're both moving right now. So again, I mean, you do have a Amazon chip, bro. Oh, it could be Broadcom. It's either Broadcom, Intel, or somebody. But then again, it might just be them. Somebody said it earlier. It's like Trinium or something. Yeah, so they're already doing it. But that's big news. I mean, again, I'm surprised it didn't clobber Nvidia more because the headline directly states that they're it could be anybody. It could be anybody involved in it. Maybe even just TSM. Yeah. Well, there you go. Speaker Johnson, I didn't project any outcomes on ACA extension. But yeah, there it is, you guys. Holy shit. Maybe Qualcomm. So again, that's going to react for a little bit. I think you're going to have to give it a couple days. So it's still big news, and it's going to react, but the whole idea, like I'm telling you, Google took a couple of days, and you need to see something. We need to see a result out of Amazon. It can't be, people might just be reacting, because the premium's already jacked up, though. People might just be reacting to the, the fact that they're going head on with it, I don't think that has hit Bloomberg or anywhere yet. Check if it's circulated. Once the fucking pumpers get their hands on it, it'll play a little differently. Actually, no, they haven't even got it yet. So yeah, you're mad early, you guys. So even all of you guys on the delay, you're fucking early. That has not hit TV, and then the fucking recirculators haven't even picked up on it. All right. Well, you can't say I don't hook y'all up, bro, okay? You know that? So that's why, too, go buy something for your long term. Oh, that's why Oracle's getting fucking clapped. Duh. Now AMD's on the low, too. So AMD's going down, and then Oracle going down on that. Again, you guys are still early. The premium, I'm already up a decent amount on the premium, so be careful. It might even, so what's going to happen is going to pull back once they get their fucking sticky fingers on it. Because then it'll crowd a little bit, and then it'll start to go. Oh, no, Global Foundries, they're just going to be at the event. I think the Intel might be a part of it, because, like, but then again, we're just guessing, and then we're already up. Check Mobileye as well, but Oracle and AMD down on that news. Yeah, even Google too. But then again, this time it's different. It's actually very different. Because like I'm telling you, it's not, you don't get to try it, right? No one's going to get to use the Amazon chip and be like, oh yeah, it's like, this is awesome. That's what happened with Google. Remember, Google came out with the TPU, then you had fucking 3 days before it went crazy, and that was it. Amazon and Adobe are working together. Yo, where is this? Is this at the event? So check Adobe now, too. Amazon and Adobe working around an AI agent and multi-agent collaboration and adoption. And then Visa's on the high. Remember, they're at the event, Visa and MasterCard. And then you got Adobe, Amazon. So, like I said, it's going to get crowded a little bit once the fucking recirculators and then the news gets their hands on this. And then you're going to have to give it a little bit. I love it. Well, you're early. Shout out to Chad. Go all the way. What fun it is to trade in the long-term open stocks. MasterCard now. All of the financials, Wells Fargo, Fiserv, Shift4. Yeah, that Nvidia, the full stack thing is old. That was right before that one, but it didn't touch on their new fucking taking on Amazon. So that's what I'm saying. Wait till they'll make an article on it. Is it in? Let me check. I could probably pull up the Amazon conference if it's live. What drug fell apart? Maybe Biogen? No. Regen? Those are the big ones. But XBI, there was a lot of approvals today. A couple did. Oh my gosh. Yeah. What the fuck? Yeah. Something's going on. You're right. It has to be a big biotech. Yo, XBI's getting knocked. Go through the list. Who is it? Guild, maybe? Yeah, it's Guild. It has to be one of the big four. They're getting clapped. I don't know if that's it, though. Someone check biotech news. Something's dying there. Enough to take down XBI, like with sticks. The Guild option's kind of shitty. But then if it is it Eli? Oh, Eli Lilly. Duh. No, Guild is bigger. Guild is I don't know. It's like 0.5%. Something's there. Now Wall Street Journal's coming out with the Amazon shit. So you got one big news site, a couple of recirculations. Is that K-Web on the high? Or? Yeah, WSJ now. They're running it. Yeah, something in XBI land. And then Walmart CFO says holiday sales in line. They're at the event. as well. Walmart's going to go in. And then, like I said, banks are moving up. Is it Jazz? Yeah, so you got a couple things going on. You got Amazon, Nvidia, I don't know, and then something in biotech land. I don't know who it is, but one of them's getting clobbered right now. PG says October sales down significantly. People aren't showering. Oh. I don't know what it is. And then financials. Amazon's chilling. All the premiums are still holding. Find out what happened. Find out what's going on with XBI. That could be an opportunity. Tesla flipped. Oh, we got it? Yeah, let me see. I think we do have an Amazon event. Thank you, Tyree.
Customers is something that we couldn't have done without AWS. We run our entire production pipeline on AWS. So everything from inference and storage through to job orchestration and all of production. We're moving into a world where sound should be a lot more customizable than it is today.
It's not. It's one of the big
sound
ones, dude. To
separation
bring
should
down
be able to help
XBI
people
like
who
that.
have hearing challenges to hear the way they want to hear.
Guild was the
while
first one. It
simultaneously
wasn't
going
Regen,
deeper
it wasn't
into helping
Biogen. That was my
machines make
first
sense
guess.
of the real world.
Yeah, they're recirculating the Amazon stuff. Like I said, I think that one you're going to get a little bit today, and then they're going to have to digest that depending on
Very cool.
client announcements.
And thank you to the Audio Shake team for sharing. Now, none of what we do at AWS happens without builders, and specifically developers.
Yeah.
AWS has always been passionate about developers, and this conference frankly, it always has been a learning conference. It's a little bit different, and it's dedicated to all of you out there.
Is it Myrna?
Thank you to every developer out there
tiny,
and the millions of additional AWS developers all around the world.
Habibi. Yeah, Myrna took a
special call
stick
out to
too.
our AWS
Guild,
heroes over
Myrna.
here. I see you. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Awesome.
some of the healthcare ones are holding up. That was weird.
And thank you also to the million plus members of our user group community.
I still think you have an
129
opportunity there. You just
countries
got to
all around
find
the
it.
world.
Federal vaccine selected by RFK, ending practice of vaccinating all newborns with
So why do we do
hepatitis
this?
B.
What motivates
I think
us?
Guild has a hepatitis
Why
B
are we
shot.
just as passionate today as we were
Broadcom
20 years ago
now
when
going
we first launched
clapped.
AWS?
And then A-Lab.
What drives us every day
And now
is giving you
Oracle
all
and
the freedom
Nvidia, you're
to
getting
invent.
more of a reaction now.
This has been our motivation since when we started AWS
Yeah, I
at the
think
very
they're talking
beginning.
about this.
We wanted to make it possible for every developer or inventor in her dorm room or garage to access the technology infrastructure and capabilities so that they could build whatever they
There was
could
an
imagine.
Amazon Adobe partnership.
20 years
yes.
ago, it just wasn't possible
came out right after.
for developers
It didn't really
or
react,
builders
but
to get the
still in
servers or
play.
compute
I would
capacity
say Amazon,
that they needed without
everybody
investing
at Effects,
significant
and then
capital and time.
your boy XBI.
Developers were spending way too much of their time
I think Intel
procuring
might be good
servers,
news,
managing
dude.
infrastructure, and not enough of that time building. We've actually felt
But
this
we're just scared
ourselves
'cause
inside of
AMD
Amazon.
got clobbered,
We had a
Nvidia got
company
clobbered,
full of
Broadcom,
builders who
and
had these
Oracle.
incredible ideas
So,
of how they
and
could make
Google.
our
And then
customers'
Intel
lives better.
found a way to stay up. Even
But they couldn't
fucking
move as
TSM
fast
went
as they
down.
wanted.
Intel and Global Foundry is the only one.
So we
Global
asked
Foundry went down a
ourselves,
little bit.
Why not? Why couldn't developers focus on building instead of on infrastructure? Why couldn't we bring the time and the cost of experimentation down to zero? Why not make every idea possible? And we've spent the last 2 decades innovating towards those goals. Giving all of you the freedom to keep inventing is why we're here today. And right now, we're witnessing an explosion of invention with AI. Every single customer experience,
does this sound like a race
every
to
single
the bottom?
company, frankly, every single industry is
So
in
yeah,
the process
this is just
right
killing
now
all the
being
tech stocks.
reinvented.
It's not bad yet.
And we're
You've watched
still
this
in the early
already
days of
twice,
what AI is
but
going to deliver.
If like
And the
Nvidia and all
technology
the
is
tech
iterating
companies,
faster
if they
than
get
anything
clobbered
any of
off
us
this
have ever
and they
witnessed
start
before.
to interpret it as race to
It wasn't
the
that
bottom,
long ago that we
it's
were
not
all
gonna be
testing and
good.
experimenting with chatbots. And now it seems like there's something new every day. But when I speak to customers, and many of you out there, you haven't yet seen the returns that match up to the promise of AI. The true value of AI has not yet been unlocked. But a lot of that is changing fast too. AI assistants are starting to give way to AI agents that can perform tasks and automate on your behalf. This is where we're starting to see material business returns from your AI investments. I believe that the advent of AI agents has brought us to an inflection point in AI's trajectory. It's turning from a technical wonder into something that delivers us real value. This change is going to have as much impact on your business as the internet or the cloud. I believe that in the future, there's going to be billions of agents inside of every company and across every imaginable field. Already, we see agents accelerating healthcare discoveries, improving customer service, making payroll processing more efficient. And agents are also starting to scale people's impact up by 10x in some cases, so that they have more time to invent more. Wouldn't it be awesome if everyone could see that level of impact? We think so. And that's why we ask the question, why not? Getting to a future of billions of agents, where every organization is getting real-world value and results from AI, is going to require us to push the limits of what's possible with the infrastructure. We're going to have to invent new building blocks for agentic systems and applications. We want to reimagine every single process and the way that all of us work. At AWS, we've been innovating at all of the layers of the stack to give you all the freedom to invent what's next. We have a lot to share. Let's get started. First off, what are the components that you need to deliver agents that are going to truly deliver value for you? It starts with having the most scalable and powerful AI infrastructure to power everything. You have to have a highly scalable and secure cloud that delivers the absolute best performance for your AI workloads.
Again, a couple of small drug companies are moving
across your model training and customization and inference.
XBI is still getting washed.
That's quite easy to say, but to deliver that requires optimizing across every single layer of hardware and software.
I mean, shit.
And that is something that only AWS does. It turns out there are no shortcuts. Now, when you think about AI infrastructure, one of the first things that comes to mind is GPUs. And AWS is by far the best place to run NVIDIA GPUs. We were actually the first to offer NVIDIA GPUs in the cloud, and we've been collaborating together with NVIDIA for over 15 years. And what that means is that we've learned to operate GPUs at scale. In fact, if you talk to anyone who's run large GPU clusters at any other provider, they'll tell you that AWS is by far the most stable at running a GPU cluster. We're much better at avoiding node failures and definitely deliver the best reliability. And the reason for that is because we sweat the details. Minor things like debugging BIOS to prevent GPU reboots. If you go to other places, they just kind of accept that as how it works, and it's just you go on about your business. Not us. We'll investigate and root cause every single one of them. And then we collaborate with our partners at NVIDIA to make sure that we're making constant improvements. Nothing is too small for us to be focused on. Those details really matter, and it's why we lead the industry in GPU reliability. It takes hard work and real engineering to make that happen. And we improve on those new dimensions with every generation. This year, we launched our P6 generation of EC2 instances featuring the Nvidia Blackwell processor, the P6e GB200 Ultra server, which provides over 20x the compute compared to our previous P5en generation. These are ideal for customers that are working with really large AI models out there. And we're doing that again today. I'm excited to announce the new P6e GB300.
Hold on, Nvidia might go.
These are powered by Nvidia's latest GB300 NVL72 systems.
So see, if they start talking about going against it, it'll be bad, but for now,
AI workloads.
You're getting some volume on it. It's a fucking GB300, it's a Blackwell.
And software, plus operational rigor, delivers you the absolute best performance and reliability for the biggest organizations in the world. This includes Nvidia themselves, by the way, who run their large-scale Gen AI cluster, Project Saba, on AWS, and many others, like OpenAI,
might be more
who are actively running on AWS today. They're using clusters of EC2 Ultra servers with hundreds of thousands of chips, today GB200s and soon GB300s, and they have the ability to scale to more than tens of millions of CPUs to manage their agentic workflows. All of this is to support their ChatGPT application, which I'm sure many of you use, as well as the training of their next generation models. Or take Humane. Humane is Saudi Arabia's newly created company that's responsible for driving AI innovation in the region. We recently announced a partnership together on this groundbreaking AI zone for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. This partnership will bring customers high-performing infrastructure, models, AI services like SageMaker and Bedrock, all while helping meet the kingdom's standards for security, privacy, and responsible AI standards. Now, this type of work has sparked some interest in others, large government organizations and in the public sector, who are interested in a similar concept. And so we sat back and asked ourselves, could we deliver this type of AI zone to a broader set of customers? Maybe even something that could leverage customers' existing data centers. And that's why today we're excited to announce AWS AI Factories.
I don't know if that's the chip.
With this launch, we're enabling customers to deploy dedicated AI infrastructure for AWS in their own data centers for exclusive use for them. Effectively, AWS AI factories operate like a private AWS region, letting customers leverage their own data center space and power capacity that they've already acquired.
Local models?
We also give them access to leading AWS AI infrastructure and services, including the very latest in Trainium Ultra servers or Nvidia GPUs,
Amazon's already selling
and
it
access
off.
to services like SageMaker and Bedrock. The AI factories operate exclusively for each customer, and it helps them with that separation, maintaining the security and reliability that you get from AWS, while also meeting stringent compliance and sovereignty requirements. We're super excited to see what these AI factories unlock for customers. Now, at AWS, we have always been about choice. And if you want to have the absolute best in AI infrastructure, you need to have the best compute for AI training and inference. And AWS is by far leading the way with the broadest set of options, including our groundbreaking purpose-built AI processors.
No,
AWS Trainium is our custom AI chip designed to offer the best price performance for AI workloads. Now, customers love Trainium for what it achieves for the training workloads. But I'm gonna have to pause and be a little bit vocally self-critical here. People often give us a little bit of a hard time about product naming in AWS. No, it's true. Well, it turns out Trainium is no exception. We named it Trainium because it's designed to be an awesome chip for AI training, and it is. But as it turns out, Trainium 2 is actually the best systems in the world currently for inference. Customers often ask me, how can I best take advantage of the benefits of Trainium? And what I tell them is, you probably are already using it and you just didn't know it.
Right when it gets circulated, and then it's going to get overcrowded.
If you look at all the inference that's running in Amazon Bedrock today, the majority is actually powered by Trainium already.
You're being a little impatient.
And the performance advantage of Trainium is really noticeable. If you're using any of Claude's latest generation models in Bedrock, all of that traffic is running on Trainium, which is delivering the best end-to-end response times compared to any other major provider. And that's part of the reason why we've deployed over 1 million Trainium chips already to date. Now, we've gotten to 1 million chips in record speed, and that's because the whole process, we control the whole stack. We can optimize end-to-end how we roll it out, and it allows us to move even faster. In fact, we've been able to ramp the volumes of Trainium 2 in our data center 4x faster than the next fastest chip we've ever, AI chip we've ever ramped. And we're selling those as fast as we can make them. Trainium already represents a multi-billion-dollar business today and continues to grow really rapidly. Now, what does it look like when all of this comes together in a system purpose-built around Trainium? It wasn't that long ago that people had this saying where they said that the data center was the new computer. Well, when you're training this next generation of models,
I don't know if
it turns out that the data center campus is the new computer. One of the best models in the world today is Anthropic's
I figured it was people
Claude.
moving to cloud.
We wanted to give you a little bit of a look behind the scenes at how a model like this is born, made possible by Trainium in Project Rainier. Let's take a look.
Yeah, now Google's getting hit in Nvidia. So yeah, I still think it's going to play out how I told you. It's going to take at least a day or two. The only difference is you won't know until they announce the clients. They might announce something with Meta, but we'll see. But yeah, everything got hit off of that. Ever since that literally killed the Nvidia Google move, that's where you got the outsized move. And now the fucking Nasdaq's matched up with the Dow, and then Russell might be the first one to go negative. Otherwise, equal weight. That's the one still in the red. But equal weight stopped moving down, and then China's starting to get clapped a little too. Yeah, literally, I think Amazon is the only one green out of the Mag 7 now. Except, well, Nvidia, no, they're about to give it up. But yeah, Nvidia just sold off 2.5 on that. Yeah, Russell's right there.
Really cool to see the massive scale that we've got to with Trainium so quickly. So what's next? Last year, we announced that we were already hard at work on our next chip, Trainium 3, designed to make AI workloads better, faster, and more cost-effective. Today, I'm excited to announce that Trainium 3 Ultra servers are now generally available.
So yeah, see who he announces.
Now, these Ultra servers are our most advanced, containing the very first 3-nanometer AI chip in the AWS cloud. Trainium 3 offers the industry's best price performance for large-scale AI training and inference.
We needed that to the high.
Now, we've talked about
the
incredible
BIOS. I don't know what that was yet
Trainium
still
2
either.
this past year, but Trainium 3 Ultra servers bring another huge leap forward. 4.4x more compute, 3.9 times the memory bandwidth, and this one is super important, 5 times more AI tokens per megawatt of power. And as a special surprise, I have a rack of our Ultra servers on stage with me today. Our largest TRN3 Ultra servers combine 144
yeah, you're all close in 5 minutes. That killed everything because it's not a
acting together
it's
in a
odd.
single
Like I'm telling you, I think it's good for Amazon,
connected
but
by custom neuron
and it
switches.
adds the pressure on everyone else.
This delivers
like,
a massive
not gonna get to use
362
it.
FP8 petaflops of compute.
So it's not going to have the same
over
Google
700
type
terabytes
thing
per second
until
of
you, it's going
aggregate
to be really
bandwidth,
about the
and
clients,
all in a
but
single compute
that just
instance.
killed every max ever.
And our custom-built EFA networks support scaling these out to clusters of hundreds of thousands of chips. No one else can deliver this for you. It requires all of these system-level pieces to be co-designed together. It requires multiple types of custom silicon. It requires scale-up and scale-out networking. It requires a detailed and integrated software stack, and of course, the industry's leading data centers.
I didn't even check out fucking Meta.
In a real-world example of how performance improves, we ran through a number of open source models, open weights models, that we've been optimized to run on Trainium 2, and we wanted to see how they'd run on Trainium 3.
And Bond's hitting a high.
As one example,
I don't
here's
know
an
if this
inference
is gonna...
benchmark for a popular open source GPT OSS 120B
That's what I'm saying.
model.
They could talk about how it is,
and we
but
ran it on
Google
both Trainium
got
2
the
and
wave
Trainium
by
3.
everybody using it.
As you see here, with TRN3, we get remarkable efficiency gains over Trainium 2. You see over 5x higher output tokens per megawatt, all while maintaining the same latency per user, what we call interactivity in this chart here. And this is just one example. We see similar results as we run this across a number of different models, which is fantastic. We're excited to see what TRN3 is going to unlock for customers, but we're also not stopping there. I wanted to give you a bit of sneak peek as to what's coming around the corner. And that's why I'm excited to announce that we're already hard at work on Trainium 4.
Bitch, you just announced what?
We're well into designing it, and we're excited about what we're seeing already. Trainium 4 is going to bring massive leaps across every single dimension.
Okay, watch it.
Compared to Trainium 3,
Google's
Trainium
on the
4
low,
will
and
deliver
Nvidia
6
Amazon
times
hasn't
the
gone down
FP4
yet.
compute performance, 4 times more memory bandwidth, 2 times more high memory bandwidth
What are you gonna
capacity
build it with?
to support the very largest models that you have in the world. Trainium continues to push the bounds of what's possible with AI infrastructure, so you all can be freed to push the bounds of your industry. Let's hear from a startup that's using AWS's massive AI infrastructure to transform computational biology.
Oh, come on. Is that
We're
startup
trying
Meta
to create
with
a kind
$80
of
billion?
beautiful mind for science that can be a polymath across fields, material science, chemistry, and life. But the internet and prior data only take you so far. You have to be capable of testing things in the real world.
They're
Lila
all
is building
coming
the
down.
first of what we call AI
Except
science
for
factories, which are an infrastructure through which AI can autonomously propose hypotheses, design experiments, and then run those experiments in the real world with all of the results of the successes and failures flowing into Lila's models, and become super intelligent within them by running the scientific method itself. It won't surprise anybody that building scientific superintelligence requires a lot of compute. Lila is at trillions of tokens of scientific reasoning today. We expect that to go up by no less than 100x over the next few years. AWS is an incredible partner because as the scale and speed and intelligence of science goes up, the scale, speed of computing, and the security of that process is going to be more important than ever.
No, I think
AWS is the best in
biotech,
the
it had to
world
be something
at that
individual. It could have been
combination.
the hepatitis
What this
thing.
means for
But only Gil
humankind
really reacted
is
to
that,
that.
building a very broad, new kind of scientific mind.
But yeah, the Amazon
and
announcement just took the
infrastructure
life,
that can
literally took
scalably
2% out of
set that
Nvidia
mind
even
in
after their
motion
CFO
to
announcements.
find cures,
And then even fucking
new
Google.
energy technologies, new materials, and
Usually
more.
last 2
that we
weeks, you'd
can
either have one up,
collectively
one down,
pull
but
the
that
better
got all of
future
them.
into the
So
present.
yeah, see when Nvidia goes red, and then when Amazon does too.
Really amazing to see what this scale of compute is enabling for customers like Lila to be able to accomplish. It's just incredible invention that's happening at the infrastructure layer. But we also know that infrastructure is just a part of the story. We're seeing nearly every single application in the world being reinvented by AI. And we're moving to a future where inference is such an integral part of every single application that everyone builds.
Euro close right now.
To be successful in that
45
future,
seconds.
you need a secure, scalable, feature-rich inference platform that you all can build on. And that's why we developed Amazon Bedrock. Bedrock is a comprehensive platform that helps you fast-track your generative AI applications as you move from prototype into production. With Bedrock, you get a broad choice of all the latest models. You have the ability to customize these models for your individual use case and your performance needs. You get the tools to integrate them into your data and the capabilities to add guardrails as you need them. All of this with the security and integrations that make it easy to build on applications and data that you already have in AWS. And companies of every size and in every industry all around the world are using Bedrock. Customers like BMW, GoDaddy, Strava, those are just a few, with more than twice as many customers building on Bedrock compared to just this time last year. Bedrock is seeing unprecedented momentum, but it's not just the number of customers that are using it. It's actually the volume of the usage that's quite astounding. In fact, some customers are processing a huge number of requests through Bedrock. Today, some of the largest scale AI applications in the world all run on this platform. I actually asked the team to check for me. We now have over 50 customers that have processed more than 1 trillion tokens each through Bedrock. Incredible scale and momentum. Now, when you all start building a Gen AI application, the very first thing you likely decide on is which model are you going to use? Which is the one that gives you the best cost, the lowest latency, what's going to give you the best answers? And a lot of times, actually, the right answer is a mix of different models for your applications or your agents, which is why we think model choice is so critical. We've never believed that there was going to be one model to rule them all, but rather that there would be a ton of great models out there. And it's why we've continued to rapidly build upon an already wide selection of models. We have open weights models and proprietary models, general purpose or specialized ones. We have really large ones and small models. And we've nearly doubled the number of models that we offer in Bedrock over the last year. Today, I'm pleased to announce that we're introducing a whole host of new open weights models. These models include ones like Google's Gemma, Minimax M2, and Nvidia's Nemotron. And today, we have a couple of new models that are debuting to the world for the very first time. I'm excited to announce that today, from Mistral AI and available immediately on Bedrock, are 2 new sets of open weights models. The first is Mistral Large, which is a big leap forward from their Large 2 model, doubling the context window size and vastly increasing the number of model parameters by more than 5 times. We're also launching today Ministral 3, which is a cool set of 3 models that offer really great deployment flexibility for ultra-efficient edge devices or single GPU deployments or advanced local operations. It's going to be super fun to see how you all use all of these open weights models. Now, in addition to providing a huge selection of third-party models on Bedrock, last year we announced Amazon Nova, which is Amazon's family of foundation models, delivering the industry's best price performance for many workloads out there. Over the last year, we've actually extended the Nova family to support more use cases and deliver more possibilities for you that deliver real value. We've unlocked speech-to-speech use cases, as an example, with Amazon Sonic. And just a few weeks ago, we launched the industry's best performing model for creating embeddings across multiple modalities with Nova's multimodal embeddings.
Do the fucking 80 points up?
And the momentum has been really fantastic. Nova has grown to be used by tens of thousands of customers today. Everyone from marketing giants like Dentsu to tech leaders like Infosys or Blue Origin or Robinhood to innovative startups like Ninja Tech AI. And today, we're making Nova even better. Announcing a new generation of Nova with Nova 2. Nova 2 delivers cost-optimized low-latency models with frontier-level intelligence. The Nova 2 family includes Nova 2 Lite, which is our fast and cost-effective reasoning model suitable for a broad set of workloads, and Nova 2 Pro, which is our most intelligent reasoning model for highly complex workloads. We're also introducing Nova 2 Sonic, which is our next-generation speech-to-speech model that enables real-time, human-like conversational AI for all of your applications. Now, Nova 2 Lite delivers incredible price performance for many workloads that we actually see our customers
Biotech
wanting to
came back
deliver in
up. I
production.
still don't know what that was.
Nova 2 Lite compares really favorably in industry benchmarks to models like Claude
And then
Haiku 4.5,
Amazon should know. You know the
GPT-5
answer.
Mini, and Gemini Flash 2.5.
It's not going to be today.
In particular,
That's the
Nova
last
2
time
Lite
I'm gonna say
excels at
But
things
it
like
played out
instruction
almost
calling,
exactly. The
following,
premium
tool
went
calling,
down a little
generating code, and extracting information from documents, often matching or exceeding the performance that we see from these comparable models at an industry-leading cost performance. We think
Like,
that
it's
Nova
good
2
that it
Lite
uses
is
a
going to be a real
Blackwell. That doesn't
workhorse,
kill
and it's
it
going
as
to be
much,
really
but I still
popular
think you're
for
gonna
a
get a
wide
follow-up.
variety of your use cases out there. Nova 2 Pro is our most intelligent reasoning model, and it's going to be
the bonds
great
are coming
when we
up
have
to
those
very
really
even.
complex workloads.
But
In particular,
deal with the HACCP shit.
we look at really important areas where you need your agents to be great, and that's where Nova 2 Pro really shines.
Holy shit, he
where
does
skills
sound
like
like
instruction
Tucker
following
Carlson.
and agentic tool use are critical. In fact, for those, Nova 2 is frequently coming out on top. And
Sounds
if
like
you look at
Tucker
artificial
Carlson
analysis
explaining
benchmarks
AI.
in those areas, Nova 2 Pro delivers better absolute results compared to leading models like GPT 5.1,
Red
Gemini
Hat,
3
IBM,
Pro,
and
and Claude
Amazon.
4.5 Sonnet. And for applications that need voice capabilities, Nova 2 Sonic
Is
offers
Tucker's dad?
industry-leading conversational quality at awesome price performance. With improved latency and significantly expanded language support, we think you're going to love it. Now, I also have one more Nova model that I want to talk about that has a unique set of
Scary. It
capabilities.
does sound like fucking Tucker.
Now, today's models out there are actually quite good at reasoning across one type of modality. Say they're looking at an image or listening to audio or outputting text, and then maybe outputting in a different modality. Say they're maybe reading text and then creating an image. But in the real world, you have to understand multiple modalities at the same time. Take, for example, this keynote. If you wanted a model to try to understand all that was going on in the
What if
keynote
he's
today,
like, I'm an AI?
you'd want to get the nuance and understanding of everything that we're saying. That means you'd have to listen to what I'm saying. You'd have to understand the contents of all these slides. You'd have to be able to watch the videos and understand what's going on and what we're showing. Now let's say you want to take that same model and produce a summary output for your sales team, where it had a summary of all the launches we announced today, along with some images and marketing material. Now, if you wanted to do this, you could, right? This is possible today, but it means testing a wide variety of different models, stitching them all together, and trying to accomplish this outcome, which is totally doable, but is quite hard. It'd be easier if you had a single model that could do all of that. And that's why I'm excited to announce Nova 2 Omni. It's a unified model for multimodal reasoning and image generation. Nova 2 Omni is the industry's
That's where
first
the,
reasoning model that supports text,
Adobe's gonna come
image, video, and audio input, and then supports text and image generation output. So that's 4 new industry-leading models from Amazon Nova, and we're just getting started. Up next, let's hear from Gradial, who's building some pretty cool capabilities with Nova and Bedrock.
The biggest slowdown in marketing isn't creativity. It's everything that happens after, and Gradial helps achieve that.
Do a push-up.
Today, the content operations world is fairly manual. To get from a creative brief onto a website takes 4 to 6 weeks and involves 20 different steps that require designers, engineers, copywriters, and web strategists. And so what Gradial's done is we've connected all of those different systems in place so that we can take it from idea to action. Our orchestration agent decides which sub-agents that it actually uses. If it's going to use the authoring agent, the Figma agent, the Sitecore agent, and it will combine
Trump
each
to
of those
announce
agents to
proposed
actually
rollback
get
in
a
auto
task
fuel
done,
economy
right?
rules.
And actually
Expected
making
Wednesday,
recommendations
tomorrow.
of how your content can convert audiences better and faster.
Yeah, look at
We will
GM,
forever
Ford, and
live in a
Toyota.
multi-model world. There isn't one model
I might
fits all.
switch it to Trump.
And so AWS Bedrock and Nova gives us the freedom to use efficiency where we need it, use power when we need it, and use reasoning when we need it. That was crucial for us. AWS is extremely invested in startup success, and that is very clear. I don't think that anybody got
EV will
into
get
marketing
whacked.
to do a
I didn't
link
think about
swap.
that.
I think that folks got into
But yeah,
marketing
GM,
to
Ford
be
all took a
creative.
candle off that.
If you free up that time, just imagine all
Not
of the
live
things
yet.
that will be created
Pentagon's
years from
live,
now.
but no Trump. But yeah, they're saying that's for tomorrow, not today, but auto companies are reacting.
Really amazing to see what Gradial has been able to do with Bedrock. Now, the models that are available today are really incredible, and it continues to impress me what everyone out there is able to accomplish with them. But as these models are used to power more and more mission-critical line of business applications and your agentic workloads,
Putin meeting
it turns
US.
out that the AI's ability to
That could just be a
understand your
reiteration.
company's data is what really starts to deliver huge value for your company and for your customers. And I'll just pause here. I can't stress this strongly enough. Your data is unique. It's what differentiates you from the competition. And I see this over and over again. If your models have
Video
more
high,
specific
too, only
knowledge
6
about
highs.
you and your data and your processes, you can do a lot
So
more.
yeah, watch autos now. That's your next headline.
Now, the wizardry here comes when you can deeply integrate a model with your unique data and IP. But in order to do this well, it's critical that you have your data in the cloud. So what are the best ways to get these models to access your data? Clearly, third-party models don't start with access to your data. They don't natively know about your business, and frankly, you wouldn't want them to, since you didn't want your proprietary data embedded in those models so that everyone else could use it. It's why actually the isolation that we provide inside of Bedrock is so important to prevent your data from leaking back to the core models. Now, the most common techniques that we see people successfully use today to combine your data with the models are things like leveraging RAG or vector data to provide your chosen model with context at inference time. And these are quite effective to help your models more effectively navigate your massive set of data and return relevant results.
Yeah, bonds just barely went green.
Usually, what we see, though, is this only goes so far. Almost every customer I talk to wishes that they could somehow teach the model to really understand their data, really understand their deep domain knowledge, the expertise. They want the model to know their expertise when it's making its decisions. Let's say take for a second you work at a hardware company that's looking to accelerate R&D for new products. You'd optimally want a model that understands your past products, your manufacturing preferences, your historical success and failure rates, whatever process constraints you might have, and then you want something that could combine all of these to provide an intelligent guidance for your design engineers. And it turns out whatever your company is, you have this incredibly vast corpus of IP and data that would be super valuable if it was integrated into the model you use. Now, the natural question is, why not just train a custom model? It turns out there's only really 2 ways to do this today. You could build your own model from scratch, include your own data in that. But of course, this is super expensive. And frankly, you probably don't have all of the data that you would need to build the general intelligence in the model. And then even if you did, you may not have the in-house expertise to pre-train a frontier model anyway. So that's probably not very practical for most companies.
It's not.
What most people do instead is they start with an open weights model and you modify them. And there's lots of ability to customize there. You can tune weights with techniques like fine-tuning, reinforcement learning, and you can try to build something that really focuses on your use case. However, it turns out there's actually limits to how effective this is as well.
There is.
It's really hard to teach a model a completely new domain that it wasn't already pre-trained on. And it turns out the more you customize models, the more you add a bunch of data in post-training, these models tend to forget some of that interesting stuff that it learned earlier, the core reasoning.
I mean, Intel brushed off all of that.
Like humans trying to learn a new language.
Again, Nvidia didn't go red yet,
really young,
that would be,
it's actually relatively easy to pick up.
There.
But when you try to learn a new language later in life, it's
then
actually much harder.
You need just,
model training is
kind of
like this too.
It's going to be interesting because I want to see if people use it or they're going to
there's been
announce
some
a big
pretty
client.
cool things done with the limitability that you have to tune these
really,
open weights models.
The Google
you can
got
only go so
fired
far.
by everybody fucking using
Today, you just don't have a great way to get a frontier model that deeply
What do you think about it?
understands
This guy's
your
talking
data
about what we
and
were
your domain.
kind of just discussing in the last couple weeks.
But what if it was possible? What if you could integrate your data at the right time during the training of a frontier model, and then create a proprietary model that was just for you? I think this is actually what customers really want. And so we asked ourselves, why not? And today I'm excited to announce Amazon Nova Forge.
It's going to be like their hugging face.
Nova Forge is a new service that introduces the concept of open training models.
Yep.
With Nova Forge, you get exclusive access to a variety of Nova training checkpoints. And then you get the ability for you to blend in your own proprietary data together with an Amazon curated training data set. at every stage of the model training.
They're trying to make
This
sure
allows you to
that the
produce a
local
model
models
that
don't
deeply
leave
understands
the
your
cloud.
information,
Because that's what
all
happens.
without
If you get a
forgetting
local
the core
model, you don't
information
need
the
the
thing has
cloud
been
as
trained
much.
on. We call these
So they're trying
resulting
to
models
get you in the
novellas.
ecosystem
And then
keep
we
you
allow
there.
you to easily upload
Yeah,
your
kind of
novella
like the
and
meta
run it in
stuff
Bedrock.
with, like Llama.
Let me show you how this works. Let's say you're that hardware manufacturer that we discussed earlier.
So again, we
You
talked
have
about all
several
this
hundreds
actually
of
in the last few
gigabytes
weeks
of
if you've
data,
been paying
billions
attention.
of tokens
So it's interesting
related to your
see,
past
this is what I'm saying,
designs,
the
your
local
failure
models and
modes,
how
your
that's
review
gonna
notes,
affect it.
etc.
It seems like they're trying to
And you decide that you're going to
defend
start
and
from an
integrate
80%
with that.
pre-trained Nova 2 Lite checkpoint. Using our provided tool set, you blend all of your data in with that Amazon curated training data set, and then you run the provided recipes to finish pre-training that model, but this time with all of your data included. This introduces your domain-specific knowledge, all without losing the important foundational capabilities of the model, like reasoning. NovaForge also provides the ability to use remote reward functions and reinforcement fine-tuning to further improve your model, letting you plug real-world environments into the training loop. And because your baseline model already understands your business, these post-training techniques are actually much more effective. Once you're ready, you import this model, your novella, into Bedrock, and you run inference on it, just like you would any other Bedrock model. Now, your industrial engineers can ask questions like,
Putin
what are the
starts
pros
talks
and
with
cons
Witkoff
of
and
design
Kushner.
A versus
So they're
design
there
B,
now in Russia.
and get responses that are specific to your company's historical results, manufacturing constraints, and customer preferences. We've already been working with a few customers to test out NovaForge, and they're already seeing transformative results from customizing Nova's open training models. Let's dive a little bit into the example with Reddit. Reddit uses Gen AI to moderate content for multiple different safety dimensions across their chats and searches.
That was just weirdos.
Fine-tuning existing models didn't get them the performance they needed. They even tried using multiple models of different safety dimensions, but it was super complex, and even then they couldn't get the accuracy they wanted for the specific requirements of their community. With Forge, however, Reddit was able to integrate their own proprietary domain data during pre-training, enabling the model to develop integrated representations that naturally combined the general language understanding with their own community-specific knowledge. For the first time, they were able to produce a model that met their accuracy and cost efficiency targets, and at the same time, it was much easier to deploy and operate. We think this idea of open training models is going to completely transform what companies can invent with AI. Now here to share how Sony is transforming and reinventing their business on AWS, please welcome Chief Digital Officer and Corporate Executive Officer from Sony Group Corporation, John Codera.
Good morning. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the word that holds a very special place for Sony. Kando, the direct translation of the word into English is emotion. But kando means more than that in Japanese. It captures feelings of deep emotional connections and experiences when watching a movie, listening to music, or playing a game. For us at Sony, Kando is what we strive to create and deliver to our customers in all aspects of our work. Kando is at the core of who we are. Our founders created Sony in 1946 with the dream to enrich people's lives through the power of technology. A world where technology can deliver new experiences, lifestyles, and Kando. Driven by this vision, we have delivered innovative products, creating entirely new industries and customer experiences along the way. With each era of technology, from analog to digital, the internet, the cloud, Sony has reinvented itself again and again. Today, Sony is more than a hardware technology company. We are also a leader in entertainment across games, music, pictures, anime. There is no other company in the world like Sony with the depths of our business, portfolio and touch point with fans and creators. One of the most remarkable successes this year is the anime movie Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Infinity Castle. As of late November, this film has become the highest ever grossing Japanese film released worldwide and the 5th highest grossing film across all categories in 2025. As we've done with Demon Slayer, we hope to keep delivering new Kando by marrying the creator's vision with a deep understanding of their funds.
Fucking watches it.
And our relationship with AWS plays a pivotal role to make this happen. One example started in the early 2010s when I was president of the network service company for PlayStation and other Sony devices.
PlayStation.
We chose AWS as our provider for its global footprint, high standards in availability and scalability. In 2020, for the launch of PlayStation 5, we utilized AWS building blocks for our network architecture. These services allowed us to scale out at the moment's notice and accelerated our shift to microservices, increasing deployment by 400% with the 1/10 the lead time. Today, our relationship with AWS supports a safe, secure, and high-quality gaming experiences for up to 129 million gamers to connect and experience Kando together. Moving forward, we see incredible potential for growing the fun community, connecting fans with similar tastes and interests across our diverse portfolio of content IPs. At the same time, we also want to better serve our creator community by providing them with more tools, connection, and insights to their fan base. We call this the Sony Engagement Platform, creating deeper understanding and connection between the fans who experience content and the creators who are making it. And one of the building blocks for the engagement platform is the Sony Data Ocean.
Is there a downside to sitting on a medicine ball for 7 hours?
Generated from
I'm getting kind of tired, but like, is it gonna like kill me if I do all day?
Built using AWS services, it enables us to process up to 760 terabytes of data from more than 500 data across Sony Group. Of course, to make the most effective use of our data and deliver Kando to our customers, we have to effectively harness the power of AI and agents to empower our employees and augment our business capabilities.
Again, Otto's still up on that.
To maximize our productivity in the enterprise setting, we are actively promoting the usage of generative AI.
It like kind of hurts, but it feels
our
good.
Homegrown enterprise LLM, built using Amazon Bedrock, over 57,000 users today since its introduction 2 years ago, and we are serving 150,000 inference requests per day. And today, we are integrating new agentic capabilities into our platform to enable a new level of advanced operational efficiency across our businesses.
Put that devil on me, come on.
By placing Amazon Bedrock Agent Core at the center of our agentic AI system, we gain the ability to easily govern, deploy, and manage more useful agentic capabilities to accelerate our enterprise AI transformation.
By a lot. More Americans are working today than at any time in the history of our country. I mean, these are the facts we have to get out. And, you know, there's this fake narrative that the Democrats talk about, affordability. They just say the word. It doesn't mean anything to anybody. They just say it. Affordability. I inherited the worst inflation in history. There was no affordability. Nobody could afford anything. The prices were massively high. Do you remember when we took over eggs?
A year after Biden, y'all told me it was transitory and to shut the fuck up. I'm like, inflation's at 9%.
Eggs were 4 or 5 times higher than they had ever been. They said don't order eggs for Easter at the White House. And we ended up doing it, and we got the egg prices way down, lower than what they were before. But the word affordability is a con job by the Democrats. They say affordable. I watched the other day where some very low IQ congresswoman.
Bro, I'm mad at gas in California.
Talked about.
I filled up at $5 yesterday. Like, what the fuck?
She had no idea. Their prices were much higher. As an example, energy, gasoline, we're now at about $2.50 a gallon. We're going to be, I think, at $2 a gallon. We could even crack that at some point. I'd love to do it. And we could do it more easily if we weren't building up the strategic national reserves, which Biden emptied out before the election so that he could try and get elected, meaning he started it, then he got thrown out of the race. And she took over and she kept it going, and they emptied out
I thought you guys
the
have a lot of taxes.
strategic national reserves, which are really meant for something
JD kind of went,
else.
that's
They're not meant
red
to keep
green.
people happy with their gasoline price. They're meant for war. They're meant for
Dude, I'm
problems,
pissed at
big
Cali,
problems.
dude.
He
Just
emptied
think
it
about
out,
it, bro.
and then
I mean, I'm
continued
filling up
it
a fucking
during the
G-Wagon, so
process of trying
it's
to get
obviously
elected.
a little
Didn't work
different,
out
but
too
it's
well
like,
for him. And they
dude,
virtually brought
I
it
can't
down to
believe
the
that
lowest level, I
Newsom
believe, in
fucking does
history.
that to everybody.
And,
You're paying like $1.50
didn't have
in
much
pure
of an
tax,
impact, 'cause
let
the
alone
prices
all the
were very
refiners
high.
leaving. Estee
But our
Lauder
prices
now, a couple
now
more
for
China names running.
Energy, but for gasoline are really low.
He just said they're
Electricity's
filling
coming
up
down.
the SPR, but he was saying
And when
it
that comes down, everything comes
passive.
down. But the word affordability is a Democrat scam. They say it, and then they go into the next subject. And everyone thinks, oh, they had lower prices. No, they had the worst inflation.
Yeah, GM and the
in
autos are
history
still
of our
continuing
country.
off that.
Now, some people will correct me, because they always love to correct me, even though I'm right about everything. But some people like to correct me, and they say 48 years. I say it's not 48 years, it's much more. But they say it's the worst inflation that we've had in 48 years. I say ever. But whether it's 48 years or ever, it's pretty bad. We had the worst inflation that we've ever had. Since last January, we've stopped inflation in its tracks. And there is still more to do. There's always more to do, but we have it down to a very good level. It's going to go down a little bit further. You want to have a little tiny bit of inflation. Otherwise, that's not good either. Then you have a thing called deflation.
Oh!
And deflation
said
is
it?
worse than inflation.
What?
But we have it almost, we'll soon be at a perfect level. But we inherited the worst inflation.
Needed that validation, huh?
But we have
Look at that.
20 states that are
I just told you the Josh
now
answer's
selling
true.
gasoline at less than the
Been telling you that for a decade, dog. Yeah, I've
think
never
of that,
heard him say that.
$2.75.
I don't hear anybody say that. I'm the only motherfucker
$5
who says that.
under Sleepy Joe.
Good for him.
Grocery prices
That's
are down.
true.
with
You
the
guys
cost
don't
of
know how many times
Thanksgiving
I've told you
turkey
that?
This year down 33%. It was
Carvana's
lower
running.
than 33% lower than under the Biden administration. Egg prices are way down 86%. Thank you. And mortgage rates, despite the fact that we have an incompetent chairman of the Fed, a real dope, who should reduce rates. I saw even Jamie Dimon said he should be reducing rates. I never saw Jamie Dimon say that.
He
I
didn't
wonder
talk
why
to
he
Fed
said
pick.
that.
Watch the bonds.
But he really said
He's
it
not going to say it, but he's going
right.
to hint at it.
We have a guy that's just a stubborn ox who probably doesn't like your president.
Oh, he's saying
your favorite
early
president.
2026. He's
But,
not going to do it on Friday or next week.
They're going to be coming down.
Yeah.
We'll be announcing somebody probably early next year for the new chairman of the Fed. I talked to Scott about taking the job, but he doesn't want it. You got the greatest job here.
Yes, sir.
Right? He said, no, I want to stay chairman. I want to stay right where we are, Treasury. And I think we're doing really great, aren't we?
We're doing great, sir. It's a great team to be part of.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Under my executive order to lower prescription drug prices, which I think is the single biggest thing we've ever done that nobody writes about because you're fake news. I've made unprecedented deals along with Bobby and Oz and all of the people.
GM moved more than
a lot
Ford.
of people that you wouldn't even think work on it, but they
Yeah,
do.
GM like rich.
To slash drug prices by 200%, 300%.
Yeah, dollar's climbing back to the previous high. I mean, the market's
600%,
back to that low. If you think about it.
700%,
That
800%.
oil's still kind of up.
Nobody's ever heard of it before because I instituted favored nations.
I can't believe he just
And
told you about
no
deflation.
nation agreed to do it, and then I said to the nations, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to charge you 100% tariff, which is more money than we're talking about. And they said, sir, we'd love to do it, please.
Now Bitcoin a little bit, but it's still killing it.
And they agreed that they would
Dover
go along with the whole thing. Nobody
JD,
thought you could do it because they felt, number one, you couldn't get the drug companies to do it. So we're paying, as an example, for the, let's go with the fat drug, F-A-T, for fat people. Anybody use it at the table? Don't ask.
He said, let's call it the fat drug.
Was
F-A-T for fat people.
Think of that.
That's a direct quote.
For certain people, $1,300 for certain countries, $1,300 in New York. So in New York it was $1,300, and in London it was $135. And a friend of mine called me, he said, what is this? Why is it? He got used to paying $1,300. Well, now what we have it down to is, Bobby, what's the number? Like
Dog, first he brings up deflation, tells you it's worse than inflation, and then fat people, F-A-T.
Think of that.
He
So
wanted to make sure you didn't miss here.
$1,300 to $125 to $140, depending on various countries. In other words, we're paying the lowest price, tied for the lowest price in the world. It's, people said you could never do that because you couldn't get the countries to agree to it. I did. Every country agreed to it because I said, if you're not going to agree to it, that's okay, I'm going to charge you tariffs. And as soon as I said that, they said, we agree. And then we had to be a little tough with the drug companies, but they came along. And the bigger problem was the countries. The countries just wouldn't go along with it, but they did. Every country. So we have reduced drug prices by 500, 600, 700, 800, 900%, depending on the drug, depending on the company, depending on all of the different factors involved. Nobody's ever even thought of drug reductions like that, price reductions. And I told you the story that in my first term I was so proud of myself because I reduced drugs. It was the first time in 28 years that drug prices were reduced. It was 1/4%. 1/4%. And I was so proud of myself. I said, it's the first time in 28 years that drug prices went down over the course of a year, over the course of a presidency. 1 year. 1/4%. I had a news conference. I was so proud. Now I got them down, not 1/4%. I got them down 400, 500, 600%
Dog, that
and
was
more.
a crazy quote.
And
Dog, they're gonna reel.
The fake news won't write about it, and it's going to have a huge impact on
Donald
healthcare
Trump
because a
calls
big part
it
of it's
fat
buying
people drugs.
Buying
FAT.
prescription drugs. It's going to have a huge positive impact because Obamacare is a disaster. I said it
the chips
years
and
ago,
Intel.
and I say it now.
Let's see, Nvidia is still
And the money
a
should
little
be
gutter.
paid, taken away from the insurance company. Obamacare was made to make the insurance companies rich.
I mean, back to one.
Their
well, not too bad.
stocks
It's up
have gone
2.5.
up 1,000% in a short
Google's
period of
still a little
time.
down. Amazon started
Because
to get
the
back
money
up
goes
where
to the
release
insurance
came
company.
out.
I want the money to go to the people. Let all the money go to the people. And let the people go out and buy their own
They didn't get affected as
healthcare.
much. They just kind of got pulled
And I
down
see on
with
television,
everything.
people are advertising now, we will help you buy health care. We will go out and help you buy. That's becoming like an industry because of what I said. So something's going to happen. It's probably not going to be easy because the Democrats, frankly, they don't want to make a good deal for the people. They just want to make a bad deal for the country. They want to make a bad deal for the Republican Party. But the Republican Party is united, and I will say that what I would like to do is the money doesn't go, trillions of dollars get paid to drug companies, and you still have lousy health care. Obamacare is horrible health care.
Gas, too.
We want it to go to the people,
Dog, I almost got
and then
taken
let
out
the
by this
people go out
medicine.
and buy their own health care.
It is a lot harder to
and,
balance
they'll do
on
great.
it with one foot.
They'll do great. So we're negotiating
I
that
was
now
fine.
with the Democrats. Well, congressional Democrats want the largest tax hike in
Watch
history.
Oscar
I
and
proudly
CNC, they're
signed
talking
the
the
largest
healthcare
tax
stuff again.
cuts in American history with the great big beautiful bill. The great big beautiful bill, the biggest piece of legislation ever signed, and that includes the extension of the original Trump tax cuts.
None of them are.
But it's the biggest tax cut ever signed, and it includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security. Nobody's ever seen anything like it, so think of that. And in addition, you get, if you buy a car, this is great for our car industry because we have a lot of car plants. We're bringing back the automobile business. 60% of it was stolen. because we had incompetent presidents or incompetent trade people. But 60% of it was stolen over the years, and now I think we're bringing it all back. I think we'll be bigger than we've ever been in the auto business. That's not even to mention AI, where we're leading China. We're leading China by a lot. They're not going to catch us. We have to be smart, but if we're smart, they're not going to be able to catch us. They know that. They told me that. Next year is projected to be the largest tax refund season ever.
They're really going to do it.
And we're going to be giving back refunds out of the tariffs because we've taken in literally trillions of dollars. And we're going to be giving a nice dividend to the people, in addition to reducing debt. As you know, I inherited a lot of debt, but it's peanuts compared to the kind of numbers we're talking about. So we're going to be making a dividend to the people. And additionally, we're going to be able to reduce debt. And as time goes by over the next 2, 3, 4 years, those numbers are going to go up. And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay, because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous, that you're not going to have income tax to pay. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, much lower than it is now, but you won't be paying income tax. We've slashed $1 trillion in costly job-killing regulations, saving Americans an estimated $2,100 for a family of 4.
And Bobo again.
The Biden administration was the exact opposite, but times 4. They went up $6,000. We went down $2,100.
What about Intel, Mr.
To bring
President?
down energy, electricity, and utility prices, I ended the Green New Scam.
What a great investment you made, sir.
They call it the Green New
What a
Scam,
great
one of the
investment.
greatest
How much did you
scams
make
in the
on
history
it,
of our country.
Mr. Trump? Can you
They
share with
talked
the
about
people?
global warming and all that crap.
Anything else? Can you force Nvidia to buy them?
What they've done to this country.
You can't do, can
What
you?
they've done by allowing 25 million people into our country, many of whom are criminals, many of whom 11,888 are
With
murderers.
Lipotan, not Lipotan, not for the fat people. Lipotan, great guy. Great guy, Lipo. I know people do lipo, but Lipo is a lot better. I'll tell you that. Either way, we'll give him a discount.
Electric vehicle mandate, and
You know what's crazy? They get the fat people. They're not fat. They save money. No more snacks.
You have to have a choice whether it's
I know.
a gasoline.
You could say
car,
we're saving
we
the
have so much
economy.
gasoline. China doesn't have gasoline. We do. And whether it's a hybrid, which really are working really well, the combination of electric and gasoline driven. But we, everybody was supposed to by 2030, everybody had to own an electric car under the Biden stupidity. And not everybody wants to do that. I like electric cars. I like all cars. They're all good. They all have reasons. But you want to be able to go and buy what you want. I opposed historic tariffs that are now bringing in so much money that nobody's ever seen anything like it. And countries that were ripping us off, including allies, but they were ripping us off for years. I won't use the names. I won't mention Japan. I refuse to mention South Korea. I will not mention names. But they were ripping us off like nobody's ever been ripped off before, and taking horrible advantage of your country. But now we're making a lot of money. We're making a lot of money because of the tariffs that are pouring in. And it's really national security. Among everything else, it's national security. We've also rapidly turned the worst border crisis in world history. I believe we had the worst border ever in history. I don't care if you had a fourth world country. We allow third world country in. We would allow fourth world war countries in also. It doesn't matter. There was never a border that was as bad as our border. We allowed anybody in with no checks, no vetting. So we've rapidly turned the worst border crisis in world history into the strongest border in the history of our country, and probably one of the strongest borders in the history of the world, because we have nobody coming through. And I want to thank our people. The Border Patrol is so amazing, ICE, and I want to thank the military for the backup, because they're standing right behind them, and that was really nasty for a period of months, and now it's no longer nasty. Now they don't even come up. Nobody comes up. It's an easy job. It made your job a lot easier because they know they're not going to get through. And we take people in, but they have to come in legally. For 6 months in a row, 0 illegal aliens have been admitted into the United States. You believe that? 0. We had millions of people coming in a year, millions. Now we have 0 for 6 months, and these are given by radical left people that do the numbers. I mean, they're not doing them any favor. They're being we don't have our net numbers are unbelievable, but we had 0 people in the last 6 months. Illegal border crossings along the U.S.-Mexico border have plummeted to the lowest level ever recorded. And nobody talks about that anymore. You know, it's crazy. They don't talk about it. You think they'd say, well, Trump's done a great job in the border. This country is being destroyed by the border. But you always find something new, like, is he in good health? Biden was great, but is Trump in good health? I sit here, I do 4 news conferences a day. I ask questions from very intelligent lunatics, you people. And I give the right answers. There's never a scandal, there's never a problem. I give you answers that solve your little problems. You go back and you can't find anything, but you do stories about Biden was in wonderful health. The guy didn't do a news conference for 8 months. If I go one day, I had one day where I didn't do a news conference, there's something wrong with the president. You people are crazy. I'll let you know when there's something wrong. There will be someday. That's going to happen to all of us. But right now, I think I'm sharper than I was 25 years ago. But who the hell does? By the way, I took my physical. I got all A's, everything. But they said to me, would you like to take a cognitive test? I said, is it hard? They said, yes. I said, well, I'm a very smart person. Who was the last president to take one? No president has ever agreed to take one. Because when you get into the mid-questions, meaning, 10, question number 10, 11, 12, 28, 30, they get harder and harder. And they said, would you like to do it? I said, well, no reason to do it. Nobody's ever done it. I'll do it maybe, but there's really no reason. They said, sir, the problem is this is Walter Reed Hospital. And that's a military hospital. And that means that things are, sort of open. It's not like private where you have, if you do poorly, we'll have to, probably you'll find out. I said, I won't do poorly. I'm a smart person, not a stupid person. And as the doctor will tell you, I aced it. Right, Susie? I aced. I got every question right. And these are tough questions. These are questions that I would say 99% of the people that I'm talking to right now, meaning the people from the fake news, would not do well in those exams. But I'm the only one that took it. I got every single question right. And then I read in the New York Times, is Trump sharp? Trump is sharp. But they're not sharp. That's why they're going out of business, the New York Times. I hear that they're losing so much money, it's ridiculous. They're a bunch of fakers. But we can never let another thing happen like what happened to us with a fake election, with a rigged election, where a guy like Joe Biden assumes the presidency. Because the man was grossly incompetent. And he was incompetent 30 years ago. But he was really incompetent for those last few years, and our country was put at great danger because of it. So for 6 months in a row, we had 0 people. Illegal border crossings along the U.S.-Mexico border have plummeted to the lowest level ever. Think of that. And the net benefit to our country is enormous, incalculable. America is strong and respected again. On the world stage, we're really respected. In fact, I went to a NATO and they were calling me the president of Europe. We're doing very well. We have a lot of respect. As you know, we have a problem with a war that our people are trying to settle now with Russia and Ukraine. We are not involved in the war monetarily anymore. Biden gave away $350 billion like it was candy. That's a massive amount of money. And much of it in cash, a lot of it in equipment. I don't give away anything. We sell the equipment to NATO. The European nations pay us for the equipment, 100% price. And then they bring it to Ukraine or whatever they do with it. But we're trying to get that settled. I've settled 8 wars this would be the 9th, and our people are over in Russia right now to see if we can get it settled. Not an easy situation, let me tell you. What a mess. It's a war that never would have happened if I were president. Not even a chance. And it didn't happen for 4 years. We've renamed the Department of Defense the Department of War, and I thought that would be controversial. And frankly, I tell you what, I haven't met one person. There's not one person I've met that doesn't like it. You know, think of it. We won World War I, World War II, everything in between, everything before it. And then we said, let's change the name. So we changed it back to what it was, Department of War, and Pete's doing a great job. We ended 8 wars, think of that. 8 wars, but we're going to do one more, I think. I hope. Every time I end a war, they say, if President Trump ends that war, he's going to get the Nobel Prize. If I end that war. Well, he won't get it for that war, but if he ever gets it for the next war, now they're saying, if he ever ends the war with Russia and Ukraine, he's going to get the Nobel Prize. What about the other 8 wars? India, Pakistan. Think of all the wars I ended. I should get the Nobel Prize for every war, but I don't want.
Autodesk, they're at one of the events now.
Actually, the woman
an
who got the
MSTR
Nobel
would
Prize
consider
said,
lending Bitcoin.
You've got to be kidding. Trump deserves the Nobel Prize. So that was very nice of her. I appreciate it, which is true, actually. But I don't care about that. You know what I care about? I care about death. I care about all the people that are dying. And last month, 27,000 young people died, mostly young people, mostly soldiers, despite some missiles being shot into Kiev and other places. But think of it, mostly young people. 27,000 people died between Russia and Ukraine last month. What a shame. So we're restoring law and order to our cities and towns. If you look at what's happened, and I want to pay my deepest respects to those 2 incredible people from the National Guard in West Virginia they came from. I spoke to their parents. Sarah is gone. She passed away. She's looking down on us now, and she loves her parents, and they loved her. They were, somebody said, how are they doing? I said, the word is devastated. How are they going to do? They're devastated. The rest of their lives they're going to be devastated. She was an incredible person, highly respected, top of her class, everything. She was like a perfect human being. 20 years old, just started. She was like a baby. She was so proud. They were giving her a promotion. And she told her parents that she was getting a promotion, and they were so proud of her. Then they get a call that this happened. And we have one young man who's fighting for his life. He's fighting very hard. I think he's probably doing better than anybody. And they said he didn't have a chance. I'll tell you, the one who said he's going to live is his mother. I spoke to his mother. Sir, he's going to live. I spoke to her very soon after this horrible event took place with this scum that is able to come into our country. I spoke to his mother. Sir, he's going to be okay. I'm telling you. No doctor thought that. Nobody thought that. He was hitting bad places, and she was like so positive. It was incredible. And it's possibly right, Pam, right? Possibly right. Boy, it would be amazing. If he lives, it would be amazing. A miracle, actually. But we're very proud of those 2 people. We're very proud of the National Guard. We're very proud of our military and our police and our firemen and women. If you go back and take a look a year ago, year and a half ago, it all changed, I think, on November 5th, the day of the election. But you go back before that, you couldn't get people to join the military, Pete, right? They didn't want anything to do with military. They wanted nothing to do with joining the police or the fire. They wanted nothing to do with anything. They had no spirit. The country it had no spirit, nothing. And now we just had the highest recruitment in history, and we're getting great people. We're getting great people. And I will say, despite what just happened, Washington, D.C. has become a really safe place. And I guess this lunatic probably was upset that the National Guard is so effective, because we were really, really effective, and we are. And Washington, D.C. is now considered a very, very safe city. We had crime numbers a year ago that was so bad. embarrassment that the city, the capital of this country, could have numbers like that. And Washington now is, no murders, no this. It's been a miracle also what happened here. And now we're in Memphis and we're going to New Orleans pretty soon. Over there, the governor called me. He'd like to have us go there. Governor Landry, great guy, great governor. He's asked for help in New Orleans, and we're going to go there in a couple of weeks. And we're doing a real job. Even Chicago's down a little bit because we have a minor force there. We could knock it down within 4 or 5 weeks. We could bring it down to almost nothing. But we have a governor that's grossly incompetent, and we have a mayor that's even more incompetent than the governor. He's a very low IQ person. And typically low IQ people don't make good mayors. So I want to thank all of our cabinet members. They're high IQ. Let me see one. Yeah, generally speaking, a couple I'm a little concerned about. No, but I want to thank, we have a great cabinet, amazing people. All of them, sort of have become stars. We're getting credit for the good cabinet, actually. And I just want to wish everybody a great holiday. We've I think, done a great job with the White House, bringing the White House back. You see the Palm Court that was redone. The Lincoln bedroom was redone. The Lincoln bathroom is now gorgeous, like it should have been. It was terrible green tile.
Oh shit, was I muted? Yeah, I said the Amazons are back up. The Amazons are going back up to the level, and Nvidia, Google's still down. High Ticker's almost fully gassed, and like Adobe and a couple of others that were running. Yeah, they're coming back up.
But
if we didn't go down, we would have hit a new high. Look, we moved 40 points back up.
On the windows, I've never seen that before.
Woo!
On the windows of the White House.
Yeah, but Google and Nvidia just got a little bit hit off the Amazon thing. But like I'm saying, Amazon's right back up there. Those are still like considerably down from it.
But they put them
then
up.
Everybody else
we have
kind of
wonderful
recovered, even
people
like
working in the
TSM.
White House, and they're really proud.
So we'll see. But now VWAP is pretty much the open. You're just right back to open now.
It was mishandled. It was mistreated.
The Louisiana governor
and
asked
now
federal
it's
help
being
in New
given
Orleans.
love, and we're building one of the great, I think, maybe the greatest ballroom.
Square.
We needed it for 150 years. They've been asking. You see the trucks and cranes and excavators in the background, and you hear them, and every time I hear them, I love the sound. To me, I love the sound. I wouldn't say my wife is thrilled. She hears pile drivers in the background all day, all night. They go till 12 o'clock in the evening, day, night, pile drivers. Darling, could you turn off the pile drivers? Sorry, darling, that's progress. But no, we're doing great. It's going to be I think it's going to be the finest ballroom ever built, and we're going to have it here. They've wanted it for 150 years. Think of that. So I will just end by saying I want to thank the cabinet. It's been a great cabinet. Let's think of it. Time flies, but this is our last of the year, as I said, and I just think you've done a fantastic job. And we're going to go around the room. We'll go quickly, but we're going to go around the room, and we'll start with Pete. And you'll tell us about some of the achievements. And some of you have achievements that are so big, I don't want you to go through the whole thing because we don't have time. But we'll start with Pete, and then if you want, we'll take some questions at the end. Please, Pete.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. As you said, it has been a historic year at the Department of War. Recruiting and retention over this year are at the most historic levels our country has ever seen. When I had a chance to be on an aircraft carrier destroyer over Thanksgiving, the spirit in our ranks since the election under President Trump is unprecedented. I've never seen anything like it as a soldier myself in uniform, and I know a lot of you feel the same way. We've ripped out the DEI and the political correctness. It's all merit-based at the department. We're getting back to basics: accountability, training, readiness, lethality, and that's reviving that spirit. And Mr. President, we're rebuilding the military, historic investments. I just took briefings on the Golden Dome and F-47, next generation capabilities that are going to make sure that for generations to come, America has the most powerful, most capable, most lethal military in the world, which you have rebuilt once and we're rebuilding again. And then we're reestablishing deterrence and credibility. If you look at what happened, we deal with every day the outcome of what happened in Afghanistan, the debacle under Joe Biden. We just dealt with it in the streets of Washington, D.C. with those 2 National Guardsmen. And then what happened on October 7th with Hamas, what happened in Ukraine, a war that never would have started under President Trump. We're having to rebuild that. So whether it's freedom of navigation and taking the fight to the Houthis, whether it's Midnight Hammer, those beautiful B-2s going 37 hours back and forth, undetected, delivering with precision, and Iran not getting nuclear capabilities, Europe and NATO stepping up to 5%, locking down our southwest border. It's been an honor to work with Christy and Tom and everyone else down there to lock it to zero, operational control of our border.
Railroads are
and then it's getting after and going after narco-terrorists and designated terrorist organizations in our own hemisphere. As I've said, and I'll say again, we've only just begun striking narco boats and putting narco terrorists at the bottom of the ocean.
So, dude, I don't know if this is like a young guy thing, but
Joe
like,
Biden
how come people didn't give a fuck when they were blowing up boats in the like 80s and shit? The tech wasn't as good, but like you guys know, like we used to light up drug smugglers,
President
right?
Trump said, no, we're taking
You
the
guys
gloves
know
off.
that, right? They would
We're
go
taking
out
the
in the
fight to
ocean
these
on the
designated
fucking
terror
boats and go
organizations.
with like 50
That's
cows
exactly
and shit.
what we're doing. So we're stopping the drugs. We're striking
Maybe
the
it is.
boats.
It probably is the
We're
visibility,
defeating
and I think some people just
narco-terrorists,
weren't
and we're
born,
you may say
or
one
they just
thing,
don't
that
know their
drugs
history
coming
about it.
in
Because I keep thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, it
sea
sucks, and like
are down
there is like it's
91%.
wild to watch it happen.
And I don't know who the
but then
9%
like,
is.
dude,
I'm
there's
not sure
so
either,
many
but
old
down
clips, and like
91%
that was
by
a
sea.
real.
We've
That's
had
why
a
like
bit of a
the
pause
Reagan,
because it's
you know,
hard to
war on
find
drugs
boats
was
to
like
strike
literal.
right now.
It was a literal war on
Which
drugs.
is the
They were
entire
like popping
point.
everybody, bro.
Right?
Yeah,
Deterrence
Reagan was
has to
insane.
matter, not arrest and
like,
hand
and that
over
was a
and then
TV
do it
show
again.
guy.
The
I guess
rinse and
Trump's a
repeat
TV show
approach
guy.
of previous administrations.
But like, yeah,
this
it's
is meant
kinda
to
nuts.
get after that approach. And I would
Yeah,
just
there
end by
wasn't
saying,
live streaming.
as President Trump
there
always
was
has
clips.
our
They would
back,
put like
we always
propaganda
have the back
campaigns,
of our
and like they would film
We're
it
making
to a certain
decisions
degree and
in
like
difficult
show the public,
situations,
but
and
the
we do.
public
In
was
this
like
case, in all
supportive.
these strikes,
Because I
they're
guess
making
maybe,
judgment calls,
and I would say like
ensuring
maybe
that
people
they,
were getting killed by
defend the
drugs back
American
then, but it's
people.
like
They've
you
done the
probably
right
have more
things.
drug
We'll
deaths
keep
and
doing
overdose
that.
now
And
than
we
back
have their
then.
backs, Mr. President.
That's the
Good
thing.
job.
Like
Thank
people,
you
it was
very
really
much.
affecting
Howard.
American communities and like the.
we
Remember all
set
of the
out
narco
to
movies,
stop
all the
the
cocaine
rip-off of the
movies.
United States of
Pablo
America. This is
Escobar. It was
about
literally to
global
fight against
change
Pablo
of
Escobar. You
trade.
guys know that, right?
We've been ripped off
So
since
Pablo
1945
pissed
when we
off
set
Reagan
this policy.
essentially, and that was at the
So we
height of
set out, and
Pablo,
together with
where
my
the next
partners,
like
James
5 years
Greer
they started
and
doing
Scott
crazy
Bessent,
shit with
we
the
set
CIA,
out to change that.
the
So we
Contras,
started, the
all of
first one
that.
was
I'm
the UK deal,
surprised most
right?
people don't
asymmetric.
know about
They
it,
pay
but then
us
it's like it's
10%,
really in popular
and
culture.
we get charged nothing. That allows us to export, and that began the process. Then we did the biggest, the European Union, 450 million people,
Howard!
$20 trillion economy.
I haven't seen Howard
They
in a minute,
completely
dog.
Open their borders
What's up, Howard?
to us, and we charge them 15%. That makes America $100 billion a year and turns it back to where our economy is the best. And so it proved that President Trump's trade agenda was the right trade agenda. Then we go to Japan and Korea. They offer us $750 billion in cash to build in America at the president's direction. And we're going to start, as an example, nuclear, right? We need to have a nuclear arsenal in America of power, the generation of power. So we're going to build hundreds of billions of dollars, financed by the Japanese and the Koreans, meaning they give us the money, we build it here, and we split the cash flow 50-50. We're going to build ships, $150 billion worth of ships in America. That changes the way things work, right? After those trade deals, then you go to how are we going to reshore, right? Let's start talking about the auto industry, right? We've been competed against by Koreans, the Japanese, the Europeans. We're kicking our tail. President Trump changed it. 25% tariffs, bring it all home. This year, General Motors stock up 40%. Ford up 34%. And on the same day that we announced we had set all the tariffs, Sean Finn, the head of the United Auto Workers, called and said, I can't believe I'm calling a Republican Secretary of Commerce to tell the president that this is the greatest administration for auto workers in America. Stocks up and auto workers up. That proves that President Trump understands how to take care of
seems
the
to be
whole
the winner
ecosystem,
out of all of that little
both
drama.
the companies
Microsoft and Apple.
and, more importantly,
and Meta.
the people who work there. Semiconductors, right? We didn't build any. The Biden CHIPS Act
Pete was in the same army
$60
unit.
giveaway.
It's crazy.
Right? We've now turned that. $300 billion is committed to America. That's going to go up to $750 billion in the next 60 days. Right? And then you go to pharmaceuticals. Right? $250 billion being invested in America, and then working together with Bobby Kennedy, right? Pounding away on that MFN, working together as a joint team. They're coming to over $250 billion and cutting prices in half. We did the golden share of U.S. Steel to make sure the Mon Valley is protected. Intel gave us 10% of the company, make tens of billions of dollars, right? And the last thing I will say is a year ago today, I was working on transition with President Trump, right? To build the greatest cabinet ever for the greatest president ever. And I, as I sit here today, I can't be more proud of how you did it, sir. You've created the greatest cabinet. It is a joy to be at this table.
You know, one thing we will mention, so they came to see me from Intel, and they had a problem. I said, look, we'll fix your problem, but I think the United States is entitled to 10% of your company. And the chairman looked at me and he goes,
they did it!
You have a deal. Tell him, how much money have we made since?
Thank you, President. I asked. He gave me my. I wanted it.
We made $40
I think
billion.
I'm unofficial cabinet at
What,
this
3 months
point. They
ago?
answer my questions.
Does anybody
they
write
bring up
about
the
it?
inflation. I
Nobody writes
appreciate
about it.
you,
That's
President.
okay.
President Trump. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Secretary, how we doing with transportation?
Well, Mr. President, so just quickly on aviation.
Okay, now make
many
Jensen
of you
buy
heard that
them
we
for
have
$90 a
infrastructure made
share.
of Copper, we have
Thank
to
you.
transition to fiber.
I don't know. Can we do it?
The last administration said it was going to take more than 10 years to complete
They see
the
me
transition
long
from copper to
term.
fiber.
They
don't think
saving.
that's
They
we have
holding.
already
They trying to
completed a
catch me.
third
Holding.
of
They
this
trying to catch me.
transition
No,
from
no.
copper to fiber. Now it's going to take longer for us to go from analog to digital. By the way, the rest of the world transitioned 20 years ago
My
from
guy,
analog
dog.
to digital. We are just going to do that at the FAA right now, but we're buying new radios. We're going to buy new radar. By the way, those radar are going to be made in America, Mr. President. This phase of the operation will be completed by the time you leave office. It's 3 years. I do need another $20 billion, Congress, to start the second phase, which is really important, and we'll try to get that done also in that 3-year time period, but we need the money, critically important. With regard to commercial driver's license, I think we've covered a lot the crashes that have taken place around the country, and what we found is there have been states that have issued commercial driver's license to foreigners, and they've gone through sham schools, and they're not safe on American roadways. And so, in partnership with Secretary Noem, we have driven those numbers down. We've got California, Gavin Newsom, to revoke 17,000 unlawfully issued licenses. We've closed down half of the fake schools that give out these fake licenses, all critically important. Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota gave 33% of these licenses unlawfully. People that should never have a driver's license driving a big rig on American roads, endangering the American people, shameful. We've cleaned up Union Station here in DC per your directive. We're going to rebuild Penn Station in New York. We're going to break ground at the end of 2027, get that project operational. And, Mr. President, a lot of us, I fly commercially, I fly back by the bathrooms. I don't know why that happens. They put me in the back. But, we've asked Americans to bring their better selves, to bring civility back to travel, to say, listen, let's say please and thank you. And if you have someone's pregnant on your flight and you're as strong as Pete is, well, pick up the bag and help her put it in the overhead bin. Let's be nice to each other, is what we've asked. Maybe not wear pajamas or slippers on the airplane. And I think it's been received fairly well, and I think we can all have a better
I get
travel
what he's
experience
saying, but
when
I
we
still
do
think
that.
that's hella weird.
And just the last point I'll make
You guys,
is,
they're like,
there
you
was a
need to
big
dress
football
up.
game where the Merchant Marine Academy
I mean, it'd be
falls
good.
on
I
the
want to
Coast
start
Guard.
wearing suits
Actually,
now,
with
but
the Coast Guard,
I do
with
like
Christy
sweatpants.
Noem,
I hate
beat them by
airports.
1 point, and so
But they
we're
want
very
to
proud of
change the
that.
culture of airports.
So well done, Kings Pointers.
So a little bit in a nutshell, we're rebuilding the air traffic control under boot edge. It's supposed to be boot edge. It's another grossly incompetent person. He'd get in his bicycle, ride to work, and he was just terrible. What they do is they take the fiber optics and they take fiber, trying to hook it into copper, and fiber and copper don't mix. You can't do it. But people knew that for the last 30 years since they started doing the fiber. And they spent billions of dollars, and it didn't work. And you saw that by the helicopter crash. You saw that by Into the Plane. You saw that by a lot of things. So we're doing a brand new air traffic control system, and it's going to be the best, and it's going to be from top to bottom. And we have the 3 top companies in the world bidding on it. and it's going to be one bid, and we're going to have one company responsible, and it'll be the best system. And it's going to make this.
Roku, Cisco's on the high too. They're at a meeting.
But we're going to have the safest guys. We're going to have the best system anywhere in the world. We're also going to rebuild Dulles Airport because it's not a good airport. It should be a great airport, and it's not a good airport at all. It's a terrible airport. It was incorrectly designed with a good building. Actually, it's got a beautiful terminal. Saarinen was the architect, one of the greatest architects in the world at the time. A great architect. And so they have a great building and a bad airport. But we're going to turn that around, and we're going to make Dulles Airport, serving Washington and Virginia, Maryland, etc. We're going to make that into something really spectacular. We have an amazing plan for it, and other things. But you're doing a really good job. I appreciate it.
The people movers of Dulles, we had a crash recently. So we're going to announce that later today. A request for bids on this, but again, it's a not a great airport, which we can make great in this administration, Mr. President.
We have a design that's amazing for Dulles. It's going to take Dulles and make it a really bad. It was a badly designed airport. We're going to make it into as good as there is in the country. It'll be exciting. Okay, please.
Well, Mr. President, it's good to be here at this meeting because in 1 year you can look around the table and see the change. And I think one of the biggest changes is how this cabinet works together. And I want to start there. This has often been said, I found out some things this year that I didn't know, that the Department of what was Defense, now Department of War, and the Veterans Department had never really communicated. Now, we're fraternal twins, in a way. Pete and I are. He lives better, I'm better looking. But into looking at
Pete
this,
took that personally.
I mean, he brings them in. He keeps them for a number of years.
You want to see Pete with Botox next time.
And then they come in.
He's like, oh yeah?
What the
Talk your shit.
country is committed to our veterans.
Son.
And if you don't have both ends working correctly, then recruitment lags, morale lags, and we've been able to work and fix a great deal of that. I didn't need to change our name, but I did do one thing. I put the veteran back first at the VA. And we did that in 1 year. How did we do that? We started taking things that have been neglected for a long time and put them back. We had a backlog in which we
there you go. It's been another hour. Do push-ups.
We're not talking year-to-year change at the VA. We're talking 5, 6 years.
You're going to hear me kick the medicine
ball.
ball.
5 to 6 year prior COVID numbers to see the change of backlogs that are now reduced. We do it in 6 months instead of the long time it took. In fact, it grew under the Biden administration. It shrank over 160,000 under us. Champ VA, which is a program we have, has basically been back to day to day. It was at a terrible state, which delays and claims and everything's going on. We got that back. We're doing things like taking a new look. I have one question that I ask when I go to my hospitals, which by the way, over 170 hospitals, 1,200 clinics, and I ask the people one thing, Mr. President. I said, what are you doing right now that if you were just honest and I wasn't standing here, you say, this is stupid. It's been amazing what we've gotten and the feedback that we've had. We've been able to change how we do credentialing, how we do privileging, how we do hiring. We're all working through that. And it has all made a difference for our veterans as we go forward. CNP exams for veterans out there listening. If this is the one where disability claims, well, they say, well, let me send you to a doctor to make sure. Most of the time we have that already in the record. We're working now to where those could actually be changed, where we just look at the record and not have to send them to a doctor. That's almost a $3 billion savings that we can let, and also not taking what the veterans get. We're also getting ready to announce here pretty soon the reorganization is going to bring our hospital system organizationally in line with the 21st century. We are the largest healthcare organization. It's about time we acted like it, Mr. President. You gave that leadership. We're going to do it. And also one thing, community care contracts getting ready to go out. It's one of the largest contracts in the federal government, but it does exactly what you and I have talked about before, making sure that our veterans can get care in the system or in the community, wherever they want it. We're getting ready for that. Now, I have one thing for all the press who really enjoyed the first of the year, saying, oh, you know, they're going to cut all these jobs, 80,000 this, 80,000 that at the VA. Mr. President, every success that I just gave you came after the fact, or pretty much after the fact, that we had 30,000 take early retirement. Early retirement, no risk, although you reported it as loss and risk, you can't help yourself. 30,000 took the retirement. Every bit of the success that I just told you about came with a reduced workforce. It was a motivated workforce that said, how can we take care of veterans? That's what this cabinet does. That's what we're doing for you.
And you've got the highest approval rating we've ever had at the VA, so that tells you something. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much. Jameson, please.
There's been some activity on trade this year. You know, for about 75 years, we had a system global trading system that was premised on the United States having totally open borders, right? Not just on immigration, but on goods and services, and everyone else generally kept higher tariffs, higher non-tariff barriers, etc. Obviously, the outcome was we had a huge trade deficit. You took it head on. You gave all of us who work on the file a lot of leverage. So we spent the past 10 months or whatever we've been doing now just going around the world and flipping the script. So now we're in a situation where we've protected our industries, we have the tariffs, and the other countries have decided to take their tariffs down and non-tariff barriers. And we've done it in a very constructive way. We've achieved agreements on reciprocal trade, which are a new kind of trade agreement that's really focused on making sure we have balanced trade, we have reciprocal trade, that we're treating each other fairly. And it's been embraced by the international community. And it's going to be exciting to see what it's like 5 years, 10 years from now, because you've changed it. And that's how it's going to be now. And I think you should be commended for it, and we look forward to seeing what comes in the next few years.
Thank you very much. You're doing great. He's doing a great job. Thank you very much. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Last time I was here, I said that the amount of dereg that we had for regulatory was 30 to 1. Since then, it's up to 48 to 1. Your goal had been 10 to 1, which was in excess of 6 to 1 in the first term. It's actually much higher than that, but I made my team redo the threshold a little bit because it sounded so unbelievable. But the amount of work that's being done with this entire team is astronomical. And another detail in that is that when we propose a rule, some of the biggest ones that you care the most about don't go into that count until they are finalized. So next year we should be even more eye-popping. One of those to talk about is the federal acquisitions regulations, which you gave us a charge 6 months ago to dramatically reduce. In 6 months, we've lowered it by 25%, 500 pages, 2,700 mandates, which is a third of the mandates. That's going to lead to savings, competition, and speed. So probably $40 billion for the agencies in savings over the course of 10 years. When we get up and running, it'll be north of between $200 and $400 billion. Competition, about 45%.
No, I hate Google. I can't
bids
find. It's so hard to find old video and shit.
So
now.
You got no competition.
I only found Reagan holding guns.
That will now change.
Talking
and
to
then we're just
reporters
getting faster.
about the
Months. And hopefully it's turned into years, which means you all around this table
I gotta
can
find.
buy
I remember
things that
seeing
you
them, man.
need
I have
quickly,
these. I had these old
and
videos
that
of
you
it.
have better vendors to come. Many of them small businesses who want to participate in the federal procurement process. So making all sorts of improvements on that front is very exciting. Thank you, Mr. President.
And great on the regulations.
Thank you, Mr. President.
We're cutting them at levels never seen before. And I have the record from the first 4 years, but we're blowing that record away, so it's been really great. Good. Scott?
Yes, sir, Mr. President.
Anytime you search
Great
it, it
to
just
be
shows
with
you the new
everyone.
ones. I did like an old
and,
search.
you know, when you were giving your
from like the
report,
90s to 2010,
which was
still.
fantastic,
Gave me
and I
some.
listened to
There's
the
articles
report
on
of all
it,
my
but you can't find
colleagues
the
here.
videos.
And
They
those
used to be on
kind of
YouTube.
reminds me when I played in the NFL, we had this thing called game film. You know all about film. And we had a saying that said, the film don't lie. The film tells a real story. And I hope that the American people, when they watch the film that's going on now in this time in our history, that they will see that America is greater today than it ever has been. And so I thank you for that. And thank you for giving us good stories that we can tell for the American people.
Scott, we're saving our country.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I don't want to be braggadocious. We're saving our country. Our country was going down and would never have been able to come back. We're saving all of us, but we're saving our country. All right, go ahead, please.
So at Housing and Urban Development, in keeping with your executive order, sir,
Is that a
in
hot
making
pink
America's
tie?
streets safe and beautiful again, we've been very intentional about making public housing in our country safe. And I want people to know, our colleagues know this, but people in America know that we actually care about people that live in public housing around our country. A lot of public housing is wrought with crime, sex trafficking, drug trafficking, illicit drugs, illegal aliens living in public housing, but we've put them on notice to let you know that it's not lost on us. We care about the people, we're paying attention to it, and we're gonna root out crime in public housing. We've been very focused on working with the Memphis Safe Task Force, the DC Safe and Beautiful Task Force, working with Pam and Christy and others, and law enforcement. Our law enforcement is tremendous. Every single night they go out and they go to public housing to make sure that our people are safe, mothers and children are safe. And so at HUD, you know, it's a different day. We're running new plays. The film was real bad when I came in, I'm gonna be honest. But we are giving the people that live in public housing the assurance that they will be safe. We also announced a new crime hotline, sir, that people that live in public housing, if they see criminal activity, if they see illegals living there, if they see drug trafficking, if you see it, if you hear it, report it. Don't be afraid. And so work with our Office of Inspector General. We've set up this crime hotline, and also working with Chrissy and Department of Homeland Security, making sure that everyone that lives inside of public housing is accounted for and that they are American people. And so I say that and I emphasize that to know that we prioritize American people and American people only. Lastly, sir, in Atlantic City, we took over the Atlantic City public housing because the living conditions were deplorable. And they have people that have been living there for 3 generations and they were being treated very bad. And so I took it so that we can now give people a safe place to stay. And working with the First Lady in the Foster Youth Initiative has been a great joy for me and our team. So thank you for doing that executive order to make sure that our foster youth have a safe landing pad and have financial literacy as they age out of the foster youth system. And so you talked about affordability. HUD has supported over 1 million Americans in home ownership and affordability, and over 560,000 are first-time home buyers. So I hope that the press will write about that good news, that 1 million people are able to own a home and to refinance their homes. And sir, we are moving our building from DC to Alexandria, Virginia. So thank you for your support. We're going to save the American people about $500 million. So that's my report. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Scott. Very much. Brooke?
Well, coming off of Thanksgiving, moving towards Christmas, I think it's the season of Thanksgiving, and 2 words for me are gratitude and joy. Gratitude to you for, as Howard said, bringing this team together. I say it a lot, but I'll say it again, that this is like family at this point, and I don't know that there's ever been an organization like this, at least a government like this in the history of our country. These jobs are hard, but the joy every day in getting to fight for America and save the country is the privilege of all of our lifetimes, I believe. So thank you for that. At U.S. Department of Agriculture, the People's Department, Abraham Lincoln launched this department in 1862. But under your leadership, we have finally, again, put farmers and ranchers and rural America first. In the last year, it's no longer DEI, climate change, sending out money based on the color of a farmer's skin. It's now about literally putting farmers back at the center of it. And under the last administration, we talked a lot about affordability. We'll continue to talk about that. But under the Biden administration and the destruction of our economy and the cost of inflation, interest rates for farmers and ranchers went up 73%. Labor went up 47%. Fertilizer went up 36%. Fuel went up 28%. So when you think about the extreme economic strain that a lot of our farmers are under in our farm economy, these are massive, massive numbers that will take some time to get out from under. But we've already seen the beginnings of the movement toward more affordable food, housing, fuel, et cetera, and that will only continue to trend as we work to solve those issues. My partners in trade, of course, they do the work, but I'm constantly talking to them about selling more soybeans, selling more corn, getting more of our products out. But when we really think about how to solve for this idea that for so long our farmers, many of them have been farming for government checks instead of moving their product around the world. These trade deals change that forever. And it isn't one trade deal or 2 trade deals, it's dozens of trade deals. And so talking about rural prosperity and bringing the golden age back to rural America, which has been lost for too long. And we're going to focus on that next year, hopefully with our Vice President, many of our cabinet members. But the opportunity to do that under these new trade deals is unprecedented. And so just putting farmers first, our ranchers first, Mr. President, is such a huge priority and an accomplishment of the last year. The second quick thing is lawfare, and I know you know this better than anyone in the country. When a government politicizes and weaponizes their power to go after average, everyday Americans, well, from you, the top of of that he was president, but all the way down to the ranchers in South Dakota, the Maud family, who were facing jail time over a fence line dispute that had been in their family for 130 years. We fixed that. The Henry family in New Jersey, who were facing their farm being taken away for eminent domain to give to affordable housing, we fixed that. So being able to completely change the trajectory of private property rights, but especially as it has to do with our farmers and ranchers and our rural communities, changes everything for our country. And then the third thing, we have so much great things to talk about at USDA, but the third thing, which became very much a part of the national conversation during the Democrat shutdown, was SNAP reform, food stamp reform. When all of America saw what so many of us know and have been working on, but when you have so much rampant fraud in a program that 42 million Americans participate in, now a big good piece of news that I hope is written about, since you became president, about 800,000 of those 42 million have moved off of food stamps, which is hopefully the plan with better jobs, higher wages, etc. But still, when we found 186,000 dead people's Social Security numbers being used, 500,000 people receiving benefits more than twice. We had a couple of people receiving benefits in 6 states. In February of this year, we asked for all the states for the first time to turn over their data to the federal government, to let the USDA partner with them to root out this fraud, to make sure that those who really need food stamps are getting them, but also to ensure that the American taxpayer is protected. 21 states said yes, not surprised. 29 states said yes, not surprisingly, the red states, and that's where all of that data, that fraud comes from. But 21 states, including California, New York, and Minnesota, the blue states, continue to say no. So as of next week, we have begun and will begin to stop moving federal funds into those states until they comply. And they tell us and allow us to partner with them to root out this fraud and to protect the American taxpayer. As Joe Biden was working to buy an election a year ago, he increased food stamp program funding by 40%. So now as we continue to roll that back. So the partnership in Making America Healthy Again is also in food stamps. A lot of what Bobby and I are doing together is really remarkable. But again, just gratitude and joy for this work, and so grateful to you. The final thing I'll say, a lot of gratitude to Secretary Marco Rubio for wearing his Aggie maroon tie as a reflection of Texas A&M beating Florida handily about a month ago. So Marco, I want to thank you, and much gratitude and joy in my heart as well. Yes. But thank you, sir.
We also have to say something about China with one of the largest purchases ever in our country, the soybeans.
Yes, sir.
And so I want to thank President Xi. We had a great meeting. We were in South Korea, and I went to a lot of other places too, but we met in South Korea, and President Xi was great. And China gave us among the largest orders in the history of your world, agriculture.
That's right. So. And sir, may I say, this is the remarkable result of real leadership, and your real leadership. Just a couple of days ago, China announced that they were going to halt all purchases from Brazil because they had found some irregularities in some of the soybeans they're buying from Brazil. And what that means is a continued signal that this country and our farmers produce the best, highest quality soybeans, sorghum, et cetera, in the world. And what you've been able to do is open those markets up and again, move toward an era where our farmers are not so reliant on government checks, but they have the markets to sell their product. Having said that, we do have a bridge payment we'll be announcing with you next week, as we're still trying to recover from the Biden years. That's right.
To help the farmers. We're going to help the farmers. They did not help the farmers.
That's right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Scott?
Mr. President, it's been a great year on the economy, but the best is yet to come. The tens of trillions of dollars that have come in investment, both the portfolio investment by companies, investment by countries, that is turning into a CapEx boom for the U.S. Capital expenditures up 15% in history. When CapEx is up, jobs will follow. The One Big Beautiful Bill is an incredible, as you said, thanks to your leadership, along with Speaker Johnson, Senator Leader Thune, we had that done on July 4th, which everyone said was impossible. And the great thing about that bill, sir, for the American people, it's for industry, 100% expensing, build your factory here, You can write it off immediately, but you also insisted on the 4 benefits for working people: no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, auto deductibility for American cars, and that is retroactive. So as a result, in 2026, we are going to see very substantial tax refunds in the first quarter. So the best way to address the affordability crisis is to give Americans more money in their pockets, which is what this bill has done. We're going to see real wage increases. You know, I think next year is going to be a fantastic year. Taxes, deregulation, energy certainty. That's why everyone with your leadership is coming to America. Bond market had its best year since 2020. Everyone said couldn't be done. So we're going to have growth. We've had 2 4% quarters before the Schumer shutdown. We're going to go back to that. So not only are we going to have great growth, but it's going to be low inflationary growth. And stock market obviously is following, but next year is going to be the year for Main Street as all this kicks in. And you came in, immigration, I called it the 3 I's: immigration, interest rates, and inflation, that were killing the American people. Close the border, the promise kept. Interest rates are down, and 10-year bond, again, best year since 2020, and inflation led by energy prices is going to roll next year. I think it's going to be a fantastic year. We can look back, be very proud of this year, but I think 2026 is going to be great for the American people, thanks to you.
It'll be great. Thank you very much. Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to serve with this great team that you've assembled. And I just want to pick up on something you said, Mr. President, because you hit the nail on the head. That it is absurd that Democrats talk about an affordability crisis that they created and the people around this table work every single day to address. You'll hear a lot of statistics today. You hear a lot of statistics in our political conversation. I think the most important statistic for the American people is that under the Biden administration, the average American family lost over $3,000 of household income. And under the first 10 months of this Trump administration, they have gained over $1,000 of household income. What that says very clearly is that we are fixing the problem that Joe Biden and the Democrats created in the last administration. If you look at every affordability crisis that's confronting the American people today, it is traceable directly to a problem caused by Joe Biden and congressional Democrats. Why did homes get so unaffordable? Because we had 20 million illegal aliens in this country taking homes that ought by right to go to American citizens. Why did tax bills get so unaffordable? Because Democrats were raising taxes while congressional Republicans under the president's leadership, we're now cutting taxes. Why did food get so expensive? Because we printed trillions of dollars and threw it into green scams that made our agricultural economy suffer while Americans were paying higher prices for food. On every single one of those issues, Mr. President, I think we've made incredible progress, but it would be preposterous to fix every problem caused over the last 4 years in just 10 months. I think that we've done incredibly good, but what I see over the next year, and you heard Brooke talk about joy and gratitude. What I really think this season represents for me, and I think for the entire administration, is that we have now done incredible work to fix what Joe Biden broke. And I think that next year in American growth and American prosperity could be the best year that we've had in the United States of America. It's going to happen because we're all working hard. It's going to happen because we have the greatest country in the world. But I think for congressional Democrats in particular, if they want to talk about affordability, they ought to look in the mirror. We are fixing what they're broken. We're proud to do it. It's the job that we were elected to do. But I think 2026 is going to be the year where this economy really takes off.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Great. Pam?
President Trump, thank you for talking about Sarah. Heartbreaks for her family. And Andy is doing well. His parents, Melody and Jason, wanted me to tell you, and I was with them yesterday in the hospital. He's a miracle. I was there when the surgeons came in, and they wanted you to know this. He's a miracle, and if everyone in this country can continue to pray for that family. He's got a long road ahead of him, but he is a miracle. And of course, our DC initiative is led by our amazing, and the monster will be held accountable who did this. Our marshals, of course, are leading the DC Safe effort. We have made over 7,000 arrests at your direction. DC is safe again. Working with everyone around this table, Pete and everyone. Scott and I were in Memphis together last week, and everyone, and Bobby, your HHS, doctors and medics are on the ground to help people in Memphis and DC. In Memphis, we've made over 3,500 arrests so far, and Homeland Security, Christy, you've been instrumental in this. But it's everyone working together as a team. We even have Treasury agents out there. It's unbelievable, on the ground in DC and Memphis. Of course, law enforcement first, FBI, Kash Patel has led the FBI. We have a 100% increase in the arrest of violent criminals, thanks to your leadership. DEA, led by Terry Cole, over 45 million fentanyl pills, 4,200 kilos fentanyl powder. That is the equivalent of 347 million potential lethal doses. That's unbelievable that you've taken off the streets of our country. And the weight of all the drugs combined taken off by DEA is the weight of 17 full semi-trucks of the drugs just since you've been in office, the drugs that had flowed into this country under the previous administration. ATF, led by Rob Sakata, has seized more than 31,000 illegal guns. 31,000. Unbelievable at your leadership. 19,000 of those were from trafficking cases. We've been sued on the legal front now. We have been sued 575 times. 575 times. More than every administration going back to Reagan combined. Most recently, yesterday, I was sued by an immigration judge who we fired. One of the reasons, she said she was a woman. Last I checked, I was a woman as well. 24 Supreme Court wins, President Trump, 92% success rate. We told you it would take a while to get to the Supreme Court. We're doing it at record speed, led by John Sauer, of course, Sarah and Hosh, all working together. Immigration, we're winning. Nationwide injunctions, ending DEI funding, working to secure that our federal workforce is aligned with your America First agenda, representing pretty much everyone in this room. We met with your general counsel yesterday, Doug, working with everyone. It's nonstop. ICE, of course, we're winning there with Christy. We're Brooke, SNAP benefits, won there. Marco, USAID. Pete, National Guard, of course, going nonstop. Our U.S. attorneys are fighting violent crime, working around the clock to make America safe again, which was your directive. Our Civil Rights Division, suing Gavin Newsom 3 times now, Prop 50, keeping boys out of girls' sports, and in-state tuition for illegal aliens. We've sued over election integrity. We are litigating major universities with Linda. Thank you, our Civil Rights Division, for everything that you've done to end DEI in our schools. Our Civil Division fighting sanctuary cities every single day. And of course, our Antitrust Division with Google, major settlement. Our attorneys are working on terrorism, TDA, MS-13, Antifa, President Trump. We've charged more than 500 defendants with assault on federal officers thanks to your directive. And also, we have dropped countless cases against Americans that were prosecuted under the Biden administration, including J6, COVID, FACE Act, and more. And as everyone knows, we cannot talk about pending grand jury investigations, but no one is above the law, and that includes what happened in Arctic frost. I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Holidays. Thank you for fighting for our country.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Please, Laura.
Great. Well, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for allowing me to be at this table. When I came on board, I knew really none of you in this last year, and it's been a year, Mr. President, since I've had the pleasure to serve this country on the workforce. Everybody said the Department of Labor would be quiet, fly under the radar, you won't have to do too much. Absolutely not, because you made the American people realize the American dream is real for the American workforce. And it's been under your leadership, Mr. President, that over 2 million jobs that has been created since you started have been native native-born workers. And that is the difference between this presidency, this administration, as opposed to the Biden administration, where mostly foreign-born or federal government jobs. And I think through the private sector, over 2 million jobs of native-born. And so the Labor Department has wasted no time in putting that into action with our Make America Skilled Again.
We
either
dropped
grant
earlier,
dollars,
but it wasn't.
the intentionality
You
of
didn't
the
have any of the
apprenticeship
tech stuff
program,
this time.
1 million active apprentices across this country.
We'll do philo
we
when
have
this
done over
ends, or maybe we'll go in a
250,000
little
new
bit. I think they got
apprentices
like 4 or 5
so
more
far
people
in the
left.
first year, and registered over
Yeah, I got a good
2,000
stretch in, though.
new apprenticeship programs. Why do we need the apprenticeship programs with the men and women in the trades? Because of the leadership of onshoring and reshoring, and have a lot of these companies reinvest in America. We have to build this
Orphan
country.
drug
We
designation.
cannot do that without the tradesmen and women and the craftsmen. of
Square
this
on the
country. And I
low
think
now.
that, you know, Howard
They
and
could
I,
be-
we talked
that
about
could be
that
the
from
event.
beginning, and we're going to have to lean in on that because we need the labor force, 700,000 new skilled jobs with electricians, construction workers, machinists, and so forth. And as I traveled with the vice president as well, we see that on the manufacturing floors of this country, they're in desperate need. The Department of Labor are going to get the workforce skilled again.
Yeah,
Working
Square
with
dumping now
Secretary
2%.
McMahon as we
That
move
has
a
to
lot
be
of the
bad news.
education out to our respective
Again,
states.
that could be at the
we are now
financial
working
conference
together, and we have
for the
deployed
consumer one.
$86
Yikes,
million
the premium's
in
already
investments,
fucking jacked.
and a lot of that is in
Yeah, those already went
in
like
AI
500%. Be
infrastructure
very
jobs
careful.
to have our new workforce
least on the short
proficient
term.
and literate in AI if we're going to continue.
But yeah,
to
Square
lead
down
the
2.2.
AI
You're about to
race,
trigger.
and we're working on that. And the Department of Labor is now creating and will soon launch the AI infrastructure and workforce hub, which we will be able to track that metrics to see exactly if these dollars are going correctly. Integrating education and workforce with
3.
Obviously, Administrator Leffler
All right,
and I are
those
on the
hit
road
if
a
you
lot
got 'em.
together
Oh my
because
gosh.
we're talking about Main Street.
Yeah, bro, those did 1,000%.
As
Okay, 3.5 now. It's not stopping. I don't have the headline yet, but we knew that was going to be at the event. This time they went down on the event.
The Biden administration, we were adversaries to our business owners, and we want to give them a leg up always and make sure that we're paying attention. And we want our workforce to be educated. We do not need the numbers that we have seen across this country where our 4th through 8th graders cannot do read, write, or do any math, and they are our future workforce. We have to depend on the American worker first. Also, lowering healthcare costs in line with the executive order. I'm working with Treasury and HHS, and rulemaking is underway to expand healthcare transparency and make pricing more affordable for our employers who offer these to their employees. Promoting retirement security. The department rescinded the Biden administration's guidance that restricted the use of crypto in the retirement investments, and we're seeing more and more of that, where we also rescinded the supplemental statement that discouraged the fiduciaries from considering the alternative assets for 401ks, and that will also come through the Department of Labor, that rulemaking. Ending abuse of cheap foreign labor at the expense of the American worker. We launched over 200 investigations into companies who will have abused and or fraudulently against the American worker. So Project Firewall was released. Thank you, Mr. President. We want the trained workforce, but we will root out the fraud and abuse, and we'll protect the American worker first. And slashing the job-killing regulations. The department has rescinded discriminatory DEI practices, and I will tell you, reducing compliance costs for businesses as it was for DEI has saved American businesses nearly $1 billion this year by just getting rid of DEI for that compliance cost that they've had to do. So, Mr. President, continuing to skill the American worker, the American workforce is going to be my mission. We have to do it faster. We have to do it quicker. We have to build so that the American people can realize that American dream that you have laid out so eloquently. And it's an honor to serve under this administration and to talk to the American workers who believe in the American dream again, the pride on their face, the pride of the American worker, the skilled men and women who build with their hands. It's an honor. Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Very good job. Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
Mr. President, I am honored and frankly inspired to sit
Attorney
at
General
this table
Tong
with
launches
this
inquiry
incredible
into buy
team
now,
of
pay
leaders
later.
that work every day for one and only one constituency,
dash
the
up,
American
Oracle
people.
down.
Not this group or that group.
Is
the
that why
American
Square went
people.
down?
The price of energy that's
But
very
Firm
much
didn't
on the
really move.
mind of Americans. The biggest determinant of the price of energy is politicians, political leaders, and policies. That's what drives energy prices. Under your leadership, what we've seen in the United States is just a steady drop in the price of gasoline, a huge consumer cost for Americans. As you mentioned early on, well below $3 a gallon right now and trending downwards. There are a number of stations in the heartland of America with $1.99 signs flying today. That's
pay $4.99,
without the
Gavin.
leadership and changes you've brought. Now, of course, you can go to California, where the average price of gasoline is between $4.50 and $5
I think Square was because
a
of
gallon
the
today
something at the event.
in
The
California.
headline hasn't hit.
That's just bad political leaders there
Airlines are on
and
the high,
bad
too.
policies in California.
And taxes.
And taxes. Of course.
Taxes they charge on gasoline are just insane. Terrible.
And electricity prices is a very parallel story, but it's a bigger moving ship, so the changes are a little bit slower. But Americans are outraged at roughly 30% rise in the average price of electricity across this country. But everything we are doing together is going to reverse that. Not just stop the rises, but start a downward trajectory in electricity prices. And I can say that with confidence, not because we think these policies will work. We know these policies will work, and I'll get to that in a second. We're going to stop closing power plants. We've already done that, of course. Stop closing the coal power plants and natural gas plants that were shut down. We've got over 30 gigawatts
Yeah, there's something
of
about buy
generators
now,
just
pay later,
sitting
and then
there
Square's
today,
going through their own thing.
not allowed to run. Well, of course, we're fixing that immediately. We're going to bring on from our existing grid tens of gigawatts more capacity that'll drive down the cost of electricity. But if we look at the last 5 years to see what works and what doesn't work, the most Trump-aligned policies in the electricity sector were by, no surprise, one of your cabinet members, Secretary Burgum, for 8 years governor of North Dakota. Over the last 5 years, production and demand for electricity in North Dakota grew 35%. Think what data center boom's going to do, and what happened? Electricity prices went down. Didn't rise slowly, they actually went down those 5 years. That's the answer. Trump-aligned energy policies increased demand for electricity. Nebraska and Texas, more Trump-aligned states, had significant growth in demand for electricity. They had electricity price rises, but well below the price of inflation. Unfortunately, Biden brought all of us a lot of inflation. If you look at the other end of the spectrum, California, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Maryland, I could go on. What happened in those states? Policies and politicians that force the building of unreliable electricity generation, which requires new infrastructure and transmission lines. And what happened? Today they produce less electricity than they did 5 years ago. A lot of spending money and less electricity. What does that mean? Of course, much faster rises in the price of electricity. Blue states have had 1.5 times faster rise in electricity prices than red states. Red states alone, less than inflation. We need to bring those policies.
Ideally,
You
I
are
like
bringing
low
those
money
policies
down.
to
I
the
mean, if you have a
national
job, a
level.
W-2,
We hope the blue states will come along with this. But
you
your
could get like an
policies are
FHA
going
or
to
one of those
start
lower
the
down payment
decline
loans.
of electricity
So it all depends on the terms and then the property you find.
under
but
your leadership.
That's the whole idea,
Just
in
bringing
the
back
meantime, while you're
common
hunting,
sense.
just like you
So
saw us
thank
when
you
we
for
bought the
allowing
farm,
me to be part of this
you
team.
get that money working,
For people
baby.
here who are focused on winning,
So keep it
special
in the
thanks to
long term.
Howard and Scotty who were there with me to see the Denver Broncos win on Monday night. Now we want nationwide wins on energy for 3 more years.
And we're doing more energy production than we've ever done by far right now.
Records across the board that'll continue to be reset every year you're in office.
Thank you very much.
Well, Mr. President, thank you for giving me a very interesting job. Some days it's a little controversial too, but it's been an honor to work for you. You are a great American. The fights that you pick are the right fights, and they're always on behalf of this country. So I appreciate the chance to do this job heading up this department. If you think about what Joe Biden did with the Department of Homeland Security, he used this department to invade the country with terrorists. He opened up the borders, let anybody come in that wanted to. He put them on airplanes. He let them through our airports. If they could figure out a way to get to our shores and in our country, he just opened the door and invited them in. So it's our job to get them out. And I want to thank you for this team, because I look around the table and I think every single person here has helped me do my job over the last year.
They've supported us at the border and given us resources. Marco negotiates all the travel documents and relationships with other countries to take their people home. 2 million people have gone home already. The people that were here illegally, you've removed from our country and sent home. And we're going to send more home for the holidays too, and make sure that they get to be with their families in their countries. Yes.
The bad ones.
That's right. Pam.
Focus is the bad ones.
That's right.
There are a lot of them.
Terrible, horrible people.
Terrible.
And Pam, make sure she's fighting for us in court so that we can get up every day and be bold. We're going to hire our 10,000th ICE officer. Will be on the job within 10 days. So we have hired 10,000. We've had hundreds of thousands of applications. We've got within the department, TSA went through this government shutdown without any delays. They all showed up for their shifts and worked hard doing security. And they have been absolutely fantastic. Sir, you made it through hurricane season without a hurricane.
Yeah.
And so FEMA, you kept the hurricanes away. So we appreciate that. And FEMA is deploying resources and dollars 150% faster than ever before. So somebody does have something bad that happens to them, you are immediately there helping them and telling them they have the resources to get back up on their feet. So we have built and deployed hundreds of miles of border already. You have cut the fentanyl flow over the southern border by over 56%. You've saved hundreds of millions of lives with the cocaine you've blown up in the Caribbean. And, you told me to look into Minnesota and their fraud on visas and their programs. 50% of them are fraudulent, which means that wacko Governor Walz either is an idiot or he did it on purpose. And I think he's both, sir. He brought people in there illegally that never should have been in this country, said they were somebody that they're not. They said they were married to somebody who was their brother or somebody else. Fraudulent visa applications, signed up for government programs, took hundreds of billions of dollars from the taxpayers, and we're going to remove them and we're going to get our money back. And we're going to, this next year, make sure that we only put people in leadership positions in this country that love this country and have its back. So thank you for letting us get up every day and have a purpose. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, is this over? I want to go to
Mr. President, you're exactly right. We are saving this country. We're doing it one
I
main
think they're
street
almost
at a
there.
time.
Yeah, this is
We're
circling
doing it
around.
at record speed and at record levels. Under
I'm
your
sorry, I'm
leadership,
just not
small
used to this,
business
you guys.
optimism, according to the
We
US
went, we
Chamber
never, bro, you get
Index
to
for
hear
small
from what's
businesses
going on.
has
I
reached
mean,
an
most of it,
all-time
they're just
high
saying
in
thank
the
you,
history
and
of
you're
that
getting
index.
kind of a recap
So
of
on
all
Main
of
Street,
the news
the economy
headlines
is
you've
coming
got.
back thanks
I
to
mean,
your
again,
leadership,
even that
thanks to
Minnesota
getting
thing,
Biden
people figured out
inflation
the
under
other day.
control. Small businesses' number one concern right now is finding skilled labor, and that's why Secretary
XYZ was
Chavez
blocked.
and I have
Or they
entered
gave
into an
guidance.
MOU to
Growth
get
expected to
speed
be
that
in the low
workforce to small
single-digit range,
businesses that under
with a 250
this
basis point
administration
tougher
are now
comp
at
on
record
October
levels.
headwinds.
36 million small businesses
A lot of companies
have
warned
now
about
taken on
October
board
today.
for the first time in the
Oh,
SBA's
excuse me.
history, $100 billion. That's $45 billion in small business lending at 85,000 small businesses, most of that under your term, and $52 billion out to small business investment companies. So we are running this agency like the best run bank in the country. We are growing small businesses across Main Street, and we're deregulating to the tune of $100 billion, working with all my fellow cabinet members. And thank you for putting together the best cabinet in history. Iron sharpens iron, and thank you for bringing such a strong leadership group together. And then finally, I've walked factory floors from Alaska to Maine, and the workers, the small businesses, most manufacturers in this country are small businesses, 600,000 of them. They are so grateful to your fair trade, low inflation,
they don't only do that in
deregulation
Alabama.
agenda
They do
that
it
is
in other
creating
countries
national
and
security
cultures
and
as well.
economic security in this
Or to
country
commit
like never
certain
before.
fraud.
And so I want to also finally thank you for bringing faith back to the White House, to this administration. I want to thank Brooke for hosting the Cabinet Bible Study and invite everyone tomorrow
Bible
to Bible
Study?
Study and making this country something that we can be so proud of under your leadership. And I am so blessed and honored to be part of this team. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your leadership. I am truly grateful to be a member of your team here at this table to help support you in delivering on the promises that you made to the American people. You came in with a very clear mandate of taking on the rampant weaponization, politicization of the intelligence community and federal law enforcement, experiencing yourself the deep state abusing their power as they have against you,
Wally
your family,
World.
and so many of the American people.
So that's conference 2.
Bring out
They might be the only one that
accountability
guides
truly
up.
for those who have abused their power, making sure that the intelligence community is supporting your efforts in keeping the American people safe, secure, and free, and being the president of peace. I'm grateful to be in this position as your Director of National Intelligence to support you in these efforts, and I'll cover very briefly what we've done over the last year under your leadership and what we look forward to continuing to focus on next year. First of all, under your leadership, again, we've taken on a historic effort for transparency, declassification, and exposing these abuses of power by these deep state actors. We've declassified over 500,000 documents, many of which had never been seen before by the American people, put them online to bring about this level of transparency. We formed a weaponization working group, again, to be able to go after a lot of these abuses of power that have never seen the light of day, to support the accountability that under Pam Bondi's leadership in the Department of Justice is coming about. Secondly, bringing about reforms to the intelligence community to make sure that we have the most effective and efficient and focused workforce that's really working on bringing about the priorities you have laid out in ensuring our country's security. And lastly, Mr. President, working with many of our partners here around the table, is going after these domestic threats. We have threats coming from both Islamist ideology as well as Islamist terrorists, foreign terrorist organizations, and those who seek to do harm to the American people, many of whom were let in across our borders under the previous administration. We are focused on these tasks and this imperative for the American people, and just appreciate your leadership, Mr. President, in empowering us to be able to conduct this service. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Member.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Say it loud and clear. Lee?
Mr. President, your team at the Trump EPA has been crushing it all year to fix the big mess that we inherited and deliver amazing results for the American people. I've had the opportunity to visit all 50 states since confirmation earlier this year, and to hear from real people where they meet, where they live, and to bring their great ideas and their asks back to us to be able to deliver for them. At the Trump EPA, we have proven that you can both protect the environment and grow the economy. On the environmental front, since you were sworn in earlier this year, we have averaged a big environmental accomplishment every single day. On the 100th day,
Bitcoin's
the 200th day, the 300th day of your presidency,
7.8
each time we released a list of our top 100 environmental accomplishments. That has included a historic LA wildfire cleanup that you ordered us to complete in record time, which we did, and the Army Corps, under the leadership of our great Secretary of War, did their part as well. The federal government completely did all of the work needed to allow these residents and businesses to be able to rebuild, but poor leadership at the local and state level, unfortunately, is still resulting in these property owners unable to rebuild, and it's wrong. We also were able to reach an agreement with Mexico to be able to implement a plan to permanently end a decades-old raw sewage crisis on the southern border with Mexico. And Secretary Rubio and his team, Chris Landau, Ambassador Johnson, they've been amazing to get that done. On the deregulatory front, we have proudly launched a massive blitz that amounts to the largest deregulatory effort by any agency in the history of the United States. To put some perspective on it,
so I love you, Chattadonia. If you would like to hear about some, I got a special philo today.